This is Dan and Lexi from Dan Schultz Outdoors, reminding you to keep the adventures alive. Hey y'all, I'm Johnny.
And I'm Colleen. And we're the Keel Quest. And we want you to keep the adventures alive. Cheers!
Hey, this is Darren from Ride Paddle Repeat, encouraging you to keep the adventures alive.
This is David from Beachley Ironworks saying keep the adventures alive.
Hey, Kevin with an A here. Keep the adventure alive.
Hi, I'm Dan Mayotte. Keep the adventures alive.
Hi, I'm Kevin Collin, the Happy Camper. Remember, keep the adventures alive. Awesome!
Woo, buddy! Shug here! Keep the adventures alive. I am.
Ethan here, the Avid Outdoorsy Guy, reminding you to keep the adventures alive.
We're John and Aaron.
Keep the adventures alive.
Hey everyone, it's Kylan from Lure of the North, and I encourage you to keep the adventures alive.
This is Sky North telling you, keep the adventures alive. And now on with the show.
Well, hello everybody, and happy Tuesday evening, and welcome to another episode of CANOEHOUND'S Outdoor Adventure Show, a show that brings you a lot closer to the great outdoors. My name is Dennis, also known as CANOEHOUND, and if this is your first time joining us tonight on the show, thank you very much for tuning in. Hopefully we can make you a believer and get you to smash that subscribe button and that of our guest tonight. You know what? We're live here every Tuesday evening at 7 o'clock, at least for the next 2 weeks when we will be wrapping up our season 3. It's always a sad time, but a happy time. A little bit of mixed emotion when it comes to season's end. But the best part of it is this guy gets to get out there and enjoy the great outdoors and do a little bit of paddling and adventuring myself. So that's how I can put out content in the summer, and just makes the canoe just sail along a little bit better, right? Anyways, you know what? I don't know if you're noticing anything a little bit different. If there's any glitches tonight, I am working with a little bit of a new setup here tonight. I've got new, actually, I'm using my DSLR now for live streaming, and I want to try that to see if there's any difference in clarity. If it seems a little clearer than what you're used to normally, give me a little thumbs up in the chat over there so that I know it looks good on your end, because it's hard to tell on this end. So sometimes when, you're just plugging away here. Anyways, before we get into tonight's topic, as usual, I must acknowledge my my channel sponsors and those that make this happen. And they make a lot of things happen for this channel. I'd like to thank them, of course. First is our good friends over at Algonquin Outfitters, who just recently celebrated 60 years in business, and they have 4 key locations in and around Algonquin Park. So if you're ever heading up that way, make sure you stop in, say hi, pick up any gear that you may have forgot at home, or you know what, shop with them. They got great prices and they have knowledgeable staff that are going to help you find and make the best decisions for the gear that you need for your outdoor adventuring. Our good friends over at Kid Products, makers of the Kid twig stoves and reflector ovens. You all know how I feel about those products. The guys are great guys, but you know what? They do make a great product, which is made right here in Canada. So actually right here in Ontario. So if you're ever looking for a twig stove or a reflector oven, by all means, check out Kid Products. Our friends over at Hunter and Harris Paddles, of course, makers of handcrafted, high quality cherry wood paddles. Milan is an artist when it comes down to making his paddles, and true works of art that you're going to want to hate dipping for the first time until you actually paddle with it. Then you'll never want to put the thing down. New on slate is our good friends over at OTG Meals. You know what? Small batch food, fresh freeze-dried meals. You can't beat them. Check them out online at otgmeals.com. I believe it is. If that's not it, I apologize, and you'll find all their links to their websites in the description below. And also, of course, I'd like to acknowledge and thank our good friends over at, of course, Novacraft Canoe. I've been paddling Novacraft canoes for many, many years, and you know what? They are fantastic canoes. There's a lot of great canoes out there, but Novacraft has it down for serious tripping canoes by all means. And they've been paddling the True North since 1970. So as I mentioned, you can find any of our sponsors and their links to their websites in the description down below. Please, by all means, do check them out. They support the show, and it'd be great to show them a bit of support too, especially some of the smaller businesses that are, you know, they're not these huge conglomeratory, great big businesses. They're small guys like us, you know, that are making great quality products for us everyday paddlers. You know what? It's great to be back. Last week, I didn't have a live show, but rather I ran a premiere, and the premiere was my recording of an interview I did recently at the Toronto Outdoor Adventure Show. And it was an interview with two Canadian paddling legends. You all know them quite well, Hap Wilson and, of course, our good friend Kevin Callan. It was truly an honor to have these two paddling icons on stage at the same time. You know what? They set each other off really good. They are good friends too. Haven't never paddled together, which is something I find hard to believe. But you know what? Two great guys. We had a few questions. We had a short timeline within the show, but I managed to record it. And if you were not fortunate enough to be able to go to the Toronto Outdoor Adventure Show, yes, I did record it, and I did post it last week as a premiere. But you can watch it now or after this show, of course, on just go to our past shows playlist, and you will find you'll find a link to it. And you know what? Check it out. It was a really interesting show. Both guys they crack some good jokes, and yeah, they're both standout guys. You know that. I don't have to keep talking them up. Anyways, be sure to check that out. If you haven't watched that show, by all means, check it out. Next week, as I mentioned, there's only 2 episodes left of the show for this season. Next week, Kevin Callan and I will be doing a show on backcountry etiquette. It's something we've discussed many times on the show, and we figured that we would put something together. And of course, you know what? We're probably going to have a couple of other guests on panel, as well as some of you. I'd love to hear some of your stories about backcountry etiquette, horror stories and stuff that we can talk about to educate people and to make their experiences out there a little more proper, but still at the same time a good time. You know, we'll talk about the garbage, we'll talk about the portages, we'll talk about food at the camp and leaving fires burning, and all these things that are you know, not proper to do in the backcountry for those of us that know what we're doing, right? So by all means, make sure you tune in next week. Should be a fun show. And then we'll follow that up with the season 3 finale, working on a couple things with that. And I will let you know next week what we've got planned for that. Maybe, because we might keep it as a surprise too, right? Just want to really quickly thank you to all my channel members. For those of you that are wondering what a channel membership is, if you look down around there somewhere, you'll see a join button. Basically, it's a great way to earn some extra perks and benefits, get your membership decals and stuff like that, and help support Canoe Hounds Outdoor Adventure Show. It doesn't happen without money, this show. It costs a lot of money, believe it or not. As Mickey Mouse as this may seem, it does cost us quite a bit to produce this show, between streaming software, purchasing and equipment to get things looking better. I'm trying to constantly improve on the quality of it. And you know what? From time to time, Canoe Hound's able to actually get himself a beer for the show. So that's a good thing as well. So if you're ever interested in becoming a channel member and just helping to support the channel, we got a couple of different packages available. And as I mentioned, you'll find that underneath down in the join button below the screen there. And there's other ways of supporting the channel as well. You can shop through our affiliate with Amazon and Mountain Equipment Co-op, as well as Buy Me a Coffee, different things like that. Everything's in the description below, so you can check that out. And one or two more quick things. I see, yeah, we got a pretty good bunch of people over there in chat. That's great. You know what? Okay, so one, if you're looking to find out what's going on with the show and you want constant updates, follow us on Facebook. You can do that, Canoe Hounds Outdoor Adventure Show. And I always put all the stuff on there pertaining to the show only, and that there will keep you up to date, especially in the off season, because you never know. We might have a pop-up show or two through the summer. You never know, something big might happen. We might want to cover it. So keep in touch with Canoe Hounds Outdoor Adventure Show on Facebook. And if you have any hot topics or guests that you'd like to see on the show, please drop me an email at canoehound@gmail.com. I'll even put that on screen here for a quick second. But if you drop me an email at canoehound@gmail.com, I will, and let me know what you'd like to see on the show. It makes my job a lot easier if I have feedback from you to tell me what you would like to see on the show. So yeah, that's that for that. Now, tonight's show is interactive, and of course, we have a great guest on and another surprise guest that's going to be popping into the show maybe in a little while. And I dropped a great hint on Facebook, Bam Son, right? And you know what? I think he's in the chat actually too. I see his little his logo there, so he knows who he is. Anyways, you know what? If you have any questions for myself or my guests, please do put the word question before your question in the chat over there, and I will do my darndest to get it up on screen. At least I'll mark it, and we'll get it up at some time through the show. Without further ado, as I always say, let's get into introducing tonight's guest. Tonight's guest is an avid outdoorsman who has rekindled his love for the backcountry and canoe tripping. He shares his adventures with us on his growing YouTube channel. His videos include adventure canoe trips and collaborations with popular YouTube personalities such as Joe Robinet, Teunis Richards, Freak of Nature, and many others who Kevin Callan refers to as the YouTube Rat Pack. From the channel Tosh Self-Propelled, please welcome to the live stream, Richard Tosh. How you doing, buddy?
Great, Dennis. How are you?
Good. Hopefully you got yourself loaded up.
Yep, good to go here.
Let's propose a little toast to the summer or the spring paddling season, my friend.
Cheers.
Here we have her.
Thank you.
If everybody else has got them, crack them and enjoy them.
Mm-hmm.
How you doing, man? What's keeping you busy these days?
Oh, so many trips on the go right now, or planned, and just getting back from a trip. Joe and I were out again last week, and heading to Algonquin again in a couple days for the first trip to Algonquin of the year.
On a long weekend.
Early in June, I got say again.
Yeah, on a long weekend at that.
Yeah, it's breaking my number one rule to never go into Algonquin on a long weekend, but it's just the way it worked out, and I'm meeting up with an old friend of mine, and that's the time that he had available, so we're going to make it happen.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, you know what? Paddle time is paddle time. If you're playing bumper boats out there, what the heck? You're still out on the water, right? That's
right. The trip should be fairly remote. There's a bunch of unmaintained portages I'm going to go down and to a part of the park that I don't think sees a whole lot of use. So there's very few campsites in this one stretch. Hopefully the fishing's good and there's a little bit of solitude to be found.
Right. You're located kind of up around the northeast corner of Algonquin too, are you not?
Yeah, kind of the east side. So like Petawawa area.
Oh, okay.
Just right near the base here in Pet. So only about 30 minutes from the Sand Lake Gate.
Well, that's all right. So that explains why you can get out there quite, so often. You're already halfway north compared to somewhere like yourself.
Yeah, there's lots of opportunity in this area anyway, that's for sure. That's
cool, man. That's cool. So I was curious. You got the name for your channel. You got Tosh Self-Propelled. What's okay? Is there something behind that name?
I guess it's twofold. The first, I guess, is obvious, right? As self-propelled, I'm going under my own power to do my trips, whether it's by canoe or backpack and hiking or snowshoeing or whatever it is, pulling a sled. And the second, I guess, refers to being more mentally self-propelled. I was in the Army for close to a decade, and that lifestyle is very much you do what you're told. You're given a mission and an objective, and it's all laid out for you, and then you plan your gear and what you need to do, and you go out, and it's very clear, and the parameters are very well defined. And I found when I left the Army, it's just I was kind of lost and needed something I needed to find that drive again, to get out there, to really push myself. So there's no one here that the mentally self-propelled, I guess, refers to. There's no one forcing me to do this. I do this under my own initiative because I want to get out, and I make these videos because I want to share them in the places that I find and the things that I love to do. So yeah, works on both sides, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. So a little bit about yourself then. You mentioned that you're in the Army or the military.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got a little background on that. A little bit of background about Tosh himself.
I guess I can go back before the Army. So I grew up. I was very fortunate. I grew up in Collingwood, Ontario, a small town right on Georgian Bay. I grew up a stone's throw from Georgian Bay, and I was able to be on the water all year long, swimming and paddling and sailing, and then spent the winters on Blue Mountain skiing. And both my brother and sister and I all grew up to be lifeguards, and all had a real passion for being around water. I didn't realize it at the time what a blessing it was to grow up in that spot with all the opportunities that were available there. But my dad was also from the Sudbury area, and we spent a lot of time there as kids growing up, out with relatives. I had a few uncles that were very active in fishing and trapping, and we spent a lot of time on snowmobiles. And my Uncle Dave in particular really loved to paddle canoes. He was just a fanatic about paddling. And he would call every spring, and he would say, okay, get your paddle and let's go. That's all you needed to do was show up with a paddle. Yeah. And he would have everything more or less ready to go. We didn't have, waterproof packs. Sorry, Cooper's just banging into the table here. We didn't have waterproof packs or anything. I remember one trip we used 5-gallon pails to keep all our gear dry. We just had pails stacked in the canoe. And we would go and run the Sturgeon or the Wanapitei or the Spanish or any of those Vermilion, any of those rivers in and around the Sudbury area. And he passed on that addiction that he had to me. Just wanted to be out there all the time.
Cool.
Couldn't get enough.
That's cool. Yeah. Excuse me. So you're telling me, and I thought it was pretty cool. You said you're the guy in Collingwood area that had the little, what kind of car were you driving? It always had something strapped to the roof, right?
Yeah, people around Collingwood. I worked as a lifeguard and the aquatic director of the YMCA, and people always knew me by my car. I had this old beat up Volkswagen with a canoe strapped to the roof. It was this ugly little blue car with a big red canoe on the roof. 10 months of the year, I would drive around town with my canoe on, and it was a hand-me-down old fiberglass boat. And before or after work, I'd get out and paddle on Georgian Bay or go up to, say, the Beaver or the Big Head River and do a float along there. A very good friend of mine from high school, we shared an apartment for years together, and we would often go and meet after work and shuttle our vehicles back and forth up and down the Beaver River, just playing around little stretches of the river and trial and error, learning how to maneuver the boat in white water.
Mm-hmm. So you you enlisted and you started you're in the Army there, and something kind of took you out. You were mentioning you had an injury that kind of took you out of Army life.
Yeah. So I enlisted in 2009, and then by about 2016, the end of 2016, I started having some pretty chronic back problems. Just the life in the infantry and the wear and tear started to really take its toll. And by the end of 2017, I decided, okay, I can't do this anymore. It's not sustainable. And I had options. I could have stayed in the military, I suppose, and maybe tried to find another career or something, but I decided to retire. The infantry was it for me. It was all I ever wanted to do in the Army. It was in the infantry. I was in the sniper platoon, and I loved it. It was just a great place to work. And so, yeah, I was diagnosed with degenerative disc disease in my lower back. So just, compressed discs basically, and chronic back pain. So, yeah, I left the Army in early 2018 was when I finished, and found myself in a position where I had all kinds of time on my hands, but no direction. I didn't know where I was going or what I was going to do. And I found myself watching YouTube, just sitting around. It seems kind of sad to think about right now, but yeah, just sitting around watching YouTube, and I came across, Joe Robinet's channel. There was Brad from Explore the Backcountry. Who else? Doug Linker was paddling with Joe quite a bit at that time. There's the Baird brothers. Watched a lot of their paddling, and that started to really rekindle that flame of I remembered how much I used to enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
And it helped to steer that, be back in that direction, at least anyway.
You found some inspiration in these guys, right?
Exactly.
That's the one neat thing about a lot of YouTubers, that they don't realize that sometimes the impact that you have on people that are viewing you, whether you have a small channel like ours, right, or somebody like Joe, or the Baird brothers, they're starting to get these their viewer or their subscribers are really starting to build, and it's amazing. I'm only at 5,000 subscribers. You're 2,500 right now at the time, and it's amazing that people find inspiration by watching others do this, and it doesn't matter how big your channel is, right? So. Mm-hmm. You found inspiration through these guys to basically get back out there and do what you're doing, right? And getting that newfound love again for something that you knew you loved anyways, deep down inside, right? Obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
And now you're inspiring people too, I'm sure now, right? People are seeing this and they're going, man, I got to get out there and do that.
Yeah, I do start to hear that now. I see some comments of people that, they're saying they'd like to get out and do a solo canoe trip, or just get out and paddle again, or get out and spend a night under the stars. And that's kind of neat to be able to pass that along to people. And even I've had some friends that have reached out to me. One of them was my old platoon warrant in the sniper platoon, who reached out to me recently and said that he wanted to go on a canoe trip. We worked together for years, and now it's the opportunity for me to possibly take him out and go paddle a river somewhere. And so kind of things keep going full, the circle keeps going around, and I'm still learning. I still get inspired from guys like Joe and from Jim and Ted and Brad, John, all those guys, Xander.
Sure.
Seeing all their stuff.
There's a guy who's really taken off, with his channel too, Xander. He's the growth he has shown over the last 6 months is incredible.
Yeah,
he's doing something right. He knows how to tickle the algorithms, right? So his content is good, and he's engaging, so it's interesting, and good on him. He's putting in the work. I mean, he's building up the channel. So now you're keeping up a pretty heavy schedule. You're putting out videos quite even through the wintertime, you're putting out summer videos. So you're building on your library quite.
Well, my plan last year was I just wanted to go paddle, and I thought I don't want to spend the beautiful summer months sitting in my house in front of the computer, because I'm not computer savvy in the least, and everything I've tried, I'm self-taught in everything I'm doing. So it's been a real steep learning curve trying to figure out how to edit. Just some of the simplest things have been a real struggle to sort out, even just like audio volumes and whatnot, figuring out how to adjust each clip and overlay clips together. And so I decided last year I didn't want to go paddle, or sorry, I didn't want to sit at home while I could be out paddling.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided I would do all my trips, and then when I put the boats away at the end of the year, I would just go in reverse order. I would do the last trip first, and then start editing my way through all the summer trips. And so in the depths of winter, I'd be putting out my trips from the middle of the summer, and by the time spring rolled around, I'd be dropping the spring trips from a year ago.
Right. That's a pretty good way of looking at it. A good way to schedule your stuff.
Yeah, it seemed to work out. I don't know if it was better for whatever YouTube, but it worked out for me anyway. It was just a personal decision.
So what made you want to start recording your adventures and actually putting them on YouTube or sharing them out there? Was it a personal thing, or did you want to become a Joe Robinet or a Brad Jennings, or
Never really aspired to be a big YouTuber. I watched these videos, and it was one in particular of Joe and Doug. They crossed from the west to the east side across Algonquin,
right?
And a fall trip, and I looked at that trip and I thought, oh, that looks like an interesting route. I broke out my map and thought, okay, I can do that. And Cooper, that was his first real canoe trip with me. We did 7 days and we crossed the park. And I decided I'd just buy a cheap DSLR off of Kijiji and pick up a GoPro, and how hard can it be, right? I'll just turn on the camera and, I'll be able to get some good shots. It's just ignorance on my part. And when I got home after that trip, I had an amazing time, saw so much of the river and the Petawawa that I'd never seen before, and really fueled that fire to get out and paddle again. And then I started looking at the footage that I brought home, and it's completely unwatchable. It's just, it's terrible.
like every other YouTube's first couple of videos, right?
Yeah, it was. I couldn't even make anything out of it. I started trying to edit it, and then I just deleted everything. I thought, I don't even want to put this out there. It's terrible. So that was the first realization of actually, okay, if I want to do something like this, there is a very steep learning curve for me, and it's going to be a lot more difficult than I thought it was. And that really is what inspired me. I like the challenge and doing something different, and doing something that I don't know anything about. I'm going to learn, I'm going to apply it and try and get better with each video. And yeah, it's grown since then.
Yeah. Untamed Ontario saying YouTube camping videography does seem to demand a rather desperate set of skills.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's totally foreign to me trying to video. I've never done anything with videography or photography before. And so even just seeing a shot, before putting the camera in place is something that was completely foreign to me. And
I watched this guy on YouTube. I can't, for his name is escaping me now, but right now, I'll watch a lot of his videos, and he tells you, or he explains to you different things to do and not to do when you're being a YouTuber or trying to crack into the YouTube. And I remember the one video that he did one time stuck in my head that said, start your videos, like do your videos, and your first 10 videos, he says, are going to be horrible. When you hit 30 videos, go back and delete your first 10. He said, get rid of them, because you don't know when he's going to want to watch them. And if you watch them back, you're going to be able to tell why nobody watches them, right? So it's a learning curve. You always try to better yourself from one video to the next, if you're anything like I am anyways, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I started filming, I took my cell phone out, and until recently, that's what I filmed the majority of my trips with. I did a trip where I decided I would cross Algonquin in the opposite direction. I started at the very southern tip and go all the way to the northern tip. And that video still gets views on YouTube. It's not good. Yeah. I mean, a lot of it I filmed, with the camera vertical instead of in landscape, and it's so there's all the black on the screen, and I look at it, I think it's terrible. this is awful. And I want to delete it, but it kind of reminds me of where I started, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I look at some of my newer videos, and it just reminds me of, I have learned quite a bit, and they have gotten better. So a year from now, who knows, right? I just keep progressing. I feel like I learn a little trick or a little something, or do something a little different with each video I make, and it's just these little baby steps. And I hope they're getting better anyway. So
yeah, they are. They are. Have you changed up your camera equipment at all? Has there been any improvements there?
Yeah, I recently. Oh, it's right up here. Just switched up to this guy, this Lumix. This was.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. So I watched a few videos to see what other people were using, and actually, it's John from Lost Lakes who had this camera, and he was raving about it. And I started reading the specs, and it's got a 600 mil zoom lens on it. Yet you don't have to replace the lens; it's all internal. So super easy to use, and I've been pretty happy with it. Last few trips I've done with that, and it seems to be making a difference.
That's cool. Yeah. Well, you know what? That's what it takes sometimes too, eh? But you know what? I've known some YouTubers to shoot, their whole YouTube channels all done on a camera or like just their cell phone.
Yep.
And it's amazing some of the quality they can get, and you know what? It's about how you shoot it and how you edit it, I guess, right? So.
Yeah, I had one a little trip Joe and I did to the French River that. Cooper's just going a little squirrely here. Joe and I went to the French River, and I shot it on my phone. And there's some of the sunrise and everything. I don't think there's any way you'd ever know it's a phone. It turned out amazing. But I think it just happened to be that it was a beautiful spot on a gorgeous morning, and it was more about the scenery than it was about the camera work.
Yeah.
Coop, come here. Come here.
Good boy, Coop. Go to town.
Come here. Come here. Oh, you want to say hi? Oh, there he is.
Hey, buddy. How you doing, Coop?
There he is.
So what kind of dog is Cooper?
He's a black lab.
Black lab, eh?
Yeah.
So I have to ask you, being an owner of a black furred dog, how do you control the bugs with him when it comes time to tripping, especially like this time of year when black flies are going crazy?
Yeah, we've had a hard time with it. Last year, we went. There you go. Oh boy. We went out last spring and got caught in black flies, and he had a terrible time with them. So I've just recently, I had someone reach out in a comment on YouTube, and they said to make my own bug spray for them. So I've just made the mix actually yesterday, and I'm going to try it on this next trip. It's water, vinegar, and peppermint essential oil. Okay. And so I think it was 2 cups water, 1/4 cup of vinegar, and 8 to 10 drops of the oil. And it smells terrible. Like the peppermint is overpowering.
Oh,
but they said it's safe for him if he licks himself right, as he's always doing. But it's really the thin spots under his arms and kind of his undercarriage where the bugs really get bad, and around his eyes. And I don't want him licking that like deep bug spray. So
right, yeah.
There should be a safer alternative to it.
Yeah, I've also heard the tea tree oil in that mix is pretty good instead of the
I have heard
better
say,
for ticks though, or for mosquitoes. So
yeah, I'm not sure. I've heard tea tree oil for ticks, so I don't know if it would work for mosquitoes, but I don't see why it wouldn't.
Yeah, I don't know. The tea tree oil I find smells better because I can't stand peppermint. So
and this stuff
I'd be gagging
strong.
if I had to smell your dog dead on a trip.
Yeah, I mixed it up in the kitchen today, and my eyes were actually watering as I was doing it. It's so strong.
So let me ask now, when you're out there on a trip and you're shooting your video, are you one of them guys that is always walking around looking for a shot with the camera close by, or is it one of those things where you're setting up shots all the time, or are you just a natural?
I guess it's a mix. I don't tend to. I don't really have that eye for the photography or the videography where I see a shot in advance and think, okay, right there. I tend to just shoot a lot. I move the camera around and try and get lots of shots, different angles, and then I get home and see what it turned out like.
Right. Yeah.
And try and make something of it. A lot of times, 50% or more of what I've shot, I'm not going to use. Just the angle was off, or the lighting was off, or something. Even the audio was terrible, and so I tend to shoot a lot and just try and make something out of it when I get home.
And hope for the best, right? I've got quite a few trip videos that when I got home and I looked at the video footage, it's like I can't do nothing with this.
Yeah. I've definitely had a few of those.
I'm recording and I can't do nothing with this. What am I gonna do with it, right? That's, I guess, the planning and trying to shoot with a bit of a storyline is, pretty helpful when it comes to that. But
yeah, that's probably my favorite part of the trips, is trying to find a story to tell on the trip.
Yeah.
Whether it's just some local history, like the French River is always good for that. There's so much history with First Nations and loggers, and so much of it's readily available that the story almost writes itself as you're paddling along. You're seeing artifacts laying along the shoreline.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I try and either put a personal story in or some type of local history or something. I don't know. I like to tell the stories anyway.
Cool. I'm going to pop up a question here because a couple of people have actually asked it. Richard West is asking it again, and I believe Evan Lefebvre is asking it as well. How's the knee doing? Hope it's all healed well and doesn't slow you down any.
Yeah, it's definitely getting better. I'm getting around now, not limping most of the time. So for those that didn't know, I was out on a trip with Teunis from Freakin' Nature. And I just stepped out of the boat. It was a very simple situation, right? Pulled up sideways to the shore, went to step out of the boat. The boat shifted and my right foot was on the shore, and I just felt a pull and a pop on my right knee. And by the next morning, I could barely bend my leg, and I couldn't even, like, to straighten it, to bend it, any movement. I had just a terrible sleep, so much pain. And so that was, I guess, just over 3 weeks ago now.
Huh.
And the swelling's all gone down. There's still some pain on the inside of the knee, and I wake up in the morning, it's a little stiff, but I'd say we're about 90% there.
Good. Yeah. Well, you don't want it slowing you down, especially with trying to run away from all the paddlers over in Algonquin this weekend, right?
Yeah.
That's good. How long are you going to Algonquin for? Just the weekend itself, or is it?
I'll be out till I think Wednesday morning. I'm back, so heading in Friday, and I'm going to do a few days and then meet up with a buddy. He's bringing his son in, which is pretty exciting. His son is 11, and this is their first father-son backcountry trip. So they're going to go in and spend the night on their own, and then I'll meet up with them for their second night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was supposed to get out last weekend actually with Teunis from Freakin' Nature, and things just kind of didn't pan out for us this past weekend. So we'll have to replan that. But I still got to get out there and dip my paddle. Living down here in Southern Ontario, there's I got lakes all around me: Lake Ontario, Lake Erie, and of course Niagara River. A couple of creeks and stuff, but I still haven't had the paddle in, and it's killing me. It's killing me.
Yeah, I guess you got quite a drive to really get to the backcountry from down there.
Yeah. Well, I'm 5 hours to North Bay, 5.5, 6 hours to North Bay. So that's and that's just the starting point of the north for me, right? North Bay or Sudbury. So
yeah, exactly.
I hate it, especially with gas prices right now. It's just such a deterrent to go solo paddling by yourself and drop $200 or $250 round trip just for gas alone, right? It's like,
yeah, that hurts.
Yeah, for sure. So you've been dabbling in quite a few collaborations of late. You've done quite a few trips with Joe. I see, like maybe 3 or 4 at least. you've with Teunis, a buddy of yours, and of course, as I mentioned in the intro there, you guys had that big get together with the YouTube Rat Pack.
Yes.
Yeah, how's all that come about, man? A new YouTuber and getting to meet some really great people like that.
Yeah, so I guess it was about a year ago. I was planning spring trips and paddling on my own, and yet I'd watched all these people on YouTube like Joe, and I'm not even going to name everybody because I don't want to embarrass myself with how many people I reached out to. But I simply just started basically cold calling people. It was just on Instagram. I started firing off messages, and they were just simple, like, hey, enjoy what you're doing. Just wondering if you wanted to go paddle together sometime. And I didn't expect a whole lot. I wasn't anticipating a whole lot of response from. I was hopeful, but not, but realistic, right? And a few months after I had sent the initial message, Joe reached out to me. I guess he hadn't seen the message that when I first sent it, and he came across it 3 or 4 months later, and he said, "Hey man, just saw your message. Yeah, I'm interested in talking about going paddling. What do you have in mind, basically?" And it's funny, we were out on a trip together last week, and we talked about this conversation we had, and it was one line that I used in that conversation that kind of sealed the deal, and Joe decided he would take the chance because he was taking a chance on me. He doesn't know me from a hole in the ground, and I've been watching his videos for years. So I was pretty confident, but again, the risk is all his, really. So I said to him, let's both pack like we're going solo, and we'll plan a trip together. We'll go out, we'll paddle together, and if we find out we don't get along, then shake hands, go our separate ways, and no hard feelings. And he said, okay, I can do that.
There you go, everybody. Write that down. No. I'm sure Joe has like a million requests to go paddling together with.
Yeah, exactly. I mean? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I'm sure I know he's told me before he gets a lot of requests for people to join him.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, we went out on a little trip to a lake just north of Elliott Lake called Rawhide. We went out for a few days just to get to know each other, and yeah, we seemed to click. We were getting along immediately. We were laughing and catching fish and telling stories the whole week. Or we went out for 3 days. And by the second night, we were sitting around the fire talking about where we wanted to go paddle next. And yeah, it snowballed from there.
Well, that's cool. That's there's obviously a click or a connection there because you've done 3 or 4 trips together now. And everything seems to be like smooth sailing there, and it's pretty. He comes down our way, and I don't think he gets down. Like your way, sort of. I guess it would be considered your way to do the not the Madawaska because he was just up there, but from North Bay to the Mattawa River. There we go. River. But yeah, that's kind of more your direction, right? So.
Yep. Yeah, that was our second trip together. Was we went and paddled the Mattawa River. Did a run down that for 3 or 4 days. And yeah, just every time we get together, it's okay, when are we doing this again? And we're having a lot of fun. We hang out, probably 90% of the conversation doesn't make it onto the camera, but we're laughing and joking and having fun. And yeah, we get along pretty well. So it's just, we seem to click together. I don't know.
No, that's good. That's good. So what was the very first trip you guys did together? Was it a video you put out or?
I've never made a video of it. Neither did Joe. We both brought cameras. I have a bunch of video, but I've never put it together. It just, I couldn't tell you why. It just never made a video. But we went to Rawhide Lake, which is just outside of Elliott Lake.
Right.
Yeah, we spent a few days there catching monster smallmouth bass.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, Joe likes to get his fishing in, right? So
Yeah. I
well,
don't
I
mind.
remember some of his early day early day canoe trips and stuff. He he was just kind of learning how to do this. Now he's a fishing magician out there. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think Doug Linker taught him everything he knows, right? Yeah, yeah. We'll
Yeah,
find that out later.
I enjoy that because you can see that on virtually everybody's channel is how they progress and they're learning, and you see how the videos change, and then just the style changes over whether it's over months or over years. It's kind of fun to watch.
Sure, sure. Now, Joe's got a pretty successful YouTube channel, as we all know, right? Inspired many people. You mentioned, you watched him, he inspired you, type of thing. He inspired me to actually start doing videos again, because I did some like years ago, which are like one of the 10 that you throw away, right?
Yeah.
or you unpublish. But watching guys like him, Matty the Goose. I don't know if you're ever familiar with Matty the Goose years ago.
Yep.
A lot of the early days of my self-reliance when he was doing a lot more paddling and stuff like that. All these guys, and they kind of inspired me to get back with a camera and actually do a bit of video and publish it. But it wasn't more for sharing with everybody. It was more about sharing and keeping my memories for myself, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So YouTube was a way for me to be able to save my videos and like edit a video and put it together and then reflect back on a trip many years ago. And now I look at it for the future. My grandson, or my two grandsons, because I'm going to have another grandson soon, and it's pretty cool. They can watch back now and say, yeah, that's my papa. Look what the crap he used to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it's fun to have that memory and to put something together that people enjoy. And my buddy Rob, that we went to high school with together, and we've been paddling and hiking and camping together since we were 15 years old. His kids now are following along with my YouTube videos, and he said his daughter the other day was yelling at her iPad like, Tosh, self-propelled, trying to get it to find my channel.
That's cool.
But yeah, there's funny stories. Like, they're all following along. They want to see what's happening. And then now he's bringing his son out on a canoe trip with us. So yeah, everything comes around.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So with you being a newer YouTuber, we'll, for lack of a different term, we'll call you a newer YouTuber.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then Joe, who's been around for since 2013 or something like that, posting videos, and he's got the high subscribership. Any advice shared from Joe to you, like, hey Tosh, maybe try this or try that? Was there any advice or anything that he shared with you about the YouTube gig?
It's funny because that's one thing we've honestly really not talked about a whole lot is the filmmaking side of it, or editing or anything. We occasionally will be paddling and be like, oh, that would make a good thumbnail, a picture like that or something. But I think that's part of why we get along so well, is I'm not always picking his brain about how to do this better and whatever. And it's more just two guys out paddling together and having a good time. And now he's getting into some white water. We ran a river there last week together, and we're just having a lot of fun together. I think that's why it works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's funny too. Sometimes you get a few YouTubers together, and the conversation might strike up a little bit about, a little bit about the YouTube game, and then all of a sudden it switches to just other shit, right? Because we're just normal people, right?
Exactly.
And we might want to know, I'll give you a case and example: the Toronto Outdoor Adventure Show, right? Run into Teunis and Brittany there, Karina and Brandon from Lexus Outdoors. There were just a bunch of different YouTubers, Camper Christian, so many, right? I apologize that I can't name them all right now, but you know what? It's just yeah, man, how's it going? And it's like you're connecting on a different level because you don't know each other, but you kind of know each other through what you see right here, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not about hey, how'd you get that shot, or why did you come up with this idea? It's yeah, man, I love your channel and stuff. Yeah, so what's new? You know what I mean? So it is pretty neat that you could actually get together with people and not have to talk just the YouTube game. And I understand it was like that when you guys had that big the big collaboration up north with all the YouTubers, because I've talked to many of you, and every one of you say the same thing. The cameras hardly come out.
Yeah.
And the talk wasn't there. It was just everybody getting acquainted with each other, right?
Yeah, it was so much fun, and that was like, I know some people have said, that I had something to do with planning that, and I think the only thing I did was like throw a little fuel on the fire for Joe to reach out and get people to organize it.
Yeah,
but that was an idea that we were talking about around the fire one night, I think on the Mattawa River. We were just spitballing ideas, and don't you think it'd be cool to get a bunch of these people together? And names started getting fired out left and right, and then when Joe reached out to some of those people, they extended that invitation to others, and it just kept growing. But then once we got up there, I mean, I had all my cameras with me. I took everything. I had a drone with me, and none of it came out. Not a single. I took a few pictures on my phone, and that was it, because it was just about meeting people, actually getting to talk to somebody that I've watched on YouTube for years, and just hang out with these people. I mean, guys that, like Adam Romano and Tumblehome, Jason Irwin. Like, I've been watching Jason. He was one of those accounts I found fresh out of the Army, and blown away by like the content that he produces.
So meticulous, right?
Yeah, it's amazing. And then just to sit around, like the second night we were there, we were all just standing around the fire. And the interesting thing was there's 18 of us or something standing around this great big bonfire that the Budniks built, and there'd be these little conversations happening, and then slowly somebody would just kind of take center stage for no apparent reason.
Right.
And everyone kind of seemed to shift and turn and listen to somebody's story. And then they drift over to somebody else. Somebody else would start telling the story, and it shifted around the circle in this just such a natural way. And I think there was a couple cameras like in the background, getting some shots here and there, but there was no cameras stuck in people's faces, and people weren't running around trying to set up shots. It was just a chance to hang out with, like-minded people.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of fun.
Do you ever have that opportunity, or that time when you're say, for instance, on a solo trip or something, and you just don't want to record? You just want to take in the moment, and it's something that would be great to share, but you just say, you know what, this is for me and me alone.
There's been a few times where I question why I'm doing it. Like, am I doing this because I really want to just share this moment, or am I trying to make it into something that it's not, right? And so far, anytime, like if there's a really beautiful sunset or sunrise, or there's some really nice moment, I typically want to have the camera on. I like to add that in the video. And yeah, I don't think I've ever really thought, oh, I can't share this moment, or this one's just for me.
Yeah.
But I could see that happening. Like there'd probably be a time when, like the sunrise on the French River, we were camped at Five Finger Rapids, I believe it's called. And there's a big rock that we're camped on, and the rapids are coming down and looking out over the bay, due east, and the sun's coming up. And I remember getting out of my tent, and I stuck my head out, and the sky was just like crimson lighting up, and I just wanted to soak it in. So I set the camera up outside the door of the tent, and I went and sat in my chair. And yeah, I soaked it all in, but left the camera running behind me. It was one of those moments where you don't even want to talk. Like it just, you feel intrusive when you're talking.
Yeah.
You just have to, let the camera do its thing, and I'm going to soak this in as much as I can.
That's cool. Yeah. And you know what? Them shots really are, they're far and few between, right? So yeah, like you say, just sit back, relax, take it in, and let the camera do what the camera's going to do, type of thing. If it gets something good, it gets it. If it doesn't, you got to experience it yourself. That's a cool thing.
Yeah. Try and do both if I can, but yeah.
So I'm going to ask you the question that we ask many people, and of course, everybody always has the same answer: is what's been one of your favorite canoe trips? One that you would go back to in a heartbeat. I know you could say every one, but there's got to be one that stands out in your mind as, you know what, this is kind of like heaven on earth.
So there's one canoe trip that comes to mind, and I'm planning to do it again. And there's a long story involving, my Uncle Dave and So I'm going to save that one for a video because I don't want to give that trip up because there's a lot of emotion wrapped up in that trip.
Sure.
But if I could go back and do one trip again, I would take any river I've ever run and do it again, whether it's the Petawawa, the Mattawa, the White, the Spanish, the Sturgeon, the Wanapitei. There's something about a river trip to me that just is so much different than paddling on the lake, where, you know, especially if you go from the headwaters of a river and it's a tiny little creek, and, you know, you start to see it build and build, and then the rapids get bigger, and then you're running white water, and just the whole changing landscape. I love that part.
Yeah. You're with whitewater. Have you taken courses for that, or are you just sort of self-taught?
I am 100% self-taught.
All for the wall. Go for it. Eh?
Yeah. So one thing my Uncle Dave used to do when we would go on canoe trips as a kid, or in my teens, we would show up at his house, and he would make sure all our gear was in order. And lay down, buddy. Then he'd say, "Okay, everybody down to the basement," and we would all watch Bill Mason's Path of the Paddle, and he would break down canoe strokes and, you know, front and back ferries and how to do eddy turns, and, you know, "Oh, remember how to do that?" He'd always, you know, have something. Watch, and we would pick apart Bill Mason's Path of the Paddle, and then the next day we'd get up and we'd be on, you know, say the Sturgeon River, and he would have us going down the river practicing how to ferry with the current and how to use it. And, "Okay, there's a big rock here. I want you to try an eddy turn into it." And, you know, we'd do a few little practice things, but it was all basically just learning as we went. No, you know, professional instruction. And then as I got older, after he passed away, I started, you know, like I said, driving around Collingwood. I had my canoe with me everywhere, and go up on the Beaver River, and same thing. You know, practice running, you know, class 1 rapids, and learning how to maneuver the boat, and learning what paddle strokes work better. And
you just mentioned about your Uncle Dave and that he actually passed away. I don't think you mentioned that earlier when you were telling how he was such an inspiration for you and always taking you out and stuff like that. When did that happen? And how like, what was the impact on you at that time?
So he was almost a second father figure to me. We were very close. I spent a lot of time in Sudbury with him, and he got cancer in the late 90s, and then he passed away in the spring of 2000. So, you know, I was, you know, 21 years old at the time. I did get to spend a lot of time with him. But yeah, he just had a passion for canoeing. In fact, I think I may have said this on a video before, sitting around the fire just thinking about him one night. One of his last things he ever said to me was, you know, "I hope they have canoes in heaven."
Wow.
Because he just wanted to paddle. That was like his passion. And so after he passed away, it hit me pretty hard. I had a hard time with, you know, just trying to reason with it. And I ended up that summer going out on an extended solo trip on my own. I spent 28 days out by myself that summer, and paddled a bunch of rivers around the Sudbury area, and paddled the full extent of the French from top to bottom. But just kind of in his memory. And I still have a bunch of the gear, still use some of the gear that he gave me over 20 years ago.
Yeah. Wow. Well, you know what, man, keep it here, eh? And you know what? I hope your Uncle Dave's right. I hope there's canoes in heaven. I really do.
Yeah. It sticks with me, just because you don't realize the impact some of these things that we do, you know, with someone else, how much they're going to stick with you, and how many years later that, you know, that passion might come back, right? He helped lay the groundwork for this.
This may not sound right, but if you ever want to capitalize on that, I know a great guy that can make stickers that say that. That's a great saying. That really is. But I will not steal that, I promise. So Let's see here. You know what? I've gotten totally off this itinerary. I told you a bunch of the questions I was going to have, and I think the conversation is better than the questions that I had outlined on here, right?
Well, good. Fire away.
Yeah. Let's see. What have we not covered on here? This is awesome. So, do you have a favorite area that you actually like to paddle? Like you mentioned that you're living pretty close to Algonquin. Do you like? Are you have a favorite area like the Temagami region or the French River area, or like the what?
I don't know. It's hard to say. There's like so many. I could name 100 great things about each area, and Algonquin is special. It was actually talking. I might have been talking with Teunis. We were on the very edge of Algonquin a few weeks ago, and just thinking like, it's amazing that this place even exists, like that the park is even there.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking like somebody had the foresight 100 years ago to protect all that, because had they not, it would just look like Muskoka and the rest of the area all around to be full of roads and cottages. So there's something. My very first canoe trip as a kid was in Algonquin, and so there's a lot attached to that. But now I'm just starting to branch out and extend. I'm going to take my first trip this year. That's going to take me up onto James Bay. So yeah, I don't know. I fell in love with where the canoes can take me instead of a specific place. And see where I'm so curious all the time. I just want to see what's around the next bend in the river. I have a hard time slowing down.
That's an interesting way to put it. More interested in where the canoe can take you rather than the destination itself. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Evan Lefebvre is asking, have you ever paddled any of the Three Sisters in Quebec? You ever been on?
I have not. Yeah, the Des Moines, the Collonges, and the Noir. I haven't. I was actually talking to Marty Morissette the other day. I guess he's going to do the Collonges. We were just chatting about that a little bit, but yeah, all three of them. The Des Moines sounds amazing to me. That seems like a river that I have to get to eventually.
Sure. I see Marty is in the chat tonight. I believe he's trying to tackle all three of the sisters.
Yeah, exactly. I believe he did the Noir last year, and then we were talking. He's heading to the Collonges actually in a couple of weeks, I think he said.
Nice, lucky guy, man. And I'm just looking forward to getting out a local creek around here. Damn, I gotta move up north. Is what I gotta do. Go up there and beat up some black flies. So what are you paddling these days? I understand you picked up a canoe that you'd been wanting for quite a long time.
Yeah. So as I said, growing up watching Bill Mason and paddling his chestnut canoes, I just had I guess I have a soft spot for that red wooden canvas canoe. And I just kept my eye out for one. And was it last summer, I think? I found one on Kijiji, a chestnut PAL that was in pretty amazing condition and in my price range, and drove down to Toronto, took a look, and it came home with me.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's
How
a beautiful
boat. You get a find like that, eh? Hopefully you got a good deal on it.
Yeah. I've scored 2 boats on Kijiji just by constantly looking. My whitewater boat, I got an incredible deal on. It's a Royal X from Trailhead. It came fully equipped with airbags and thigh straps and the whole 9 yards, and I think I paid $900 for it. Yeah, the guy he's just said he was retiring and didn't want to paddle anymore. So yeah, right place, right time.
Yeah, and you get those people that they want to make sure their vessel's going to a loving home that's going to get used, right?
Yeah, that was the couple that I bought the chestnut from. They were very reluctant to sell it to someone who was, going to make it into a wall hanger or something like that.
Right, yeah.
And then I said to them, here's my YouTube channel. Keep an eye out, and you're going to see the boat out there. And I took it out a couple times last year, and it paddles so beautifully.
Yeah,
like a leaf on the water.
Yeah, my cousin's future in-laws, they have a beautiful green. It's green. He refinished the whole thing. It's such a nice. He calls it his tippy canoe though. He says his whatever one he has is very very tippy, right? But it's a chestnut. I'm not sure which model, but yeah, man. Well, you know what? We're just at 8:00 here, or shortly after, and this week we're actually going to be having a little bit of a swag giveaway for those that might be interested in participating. We've got 2 things we're going to give away here, Tosh. What do you think?
I've got a couple of these here.
Okay, so Tosh is going to throw in 2 prizes, and I'm going to throw in 2 prizes. So 2 lucky people are going to win. So each person's going to win something from Canoe Hound and something from Tosh. So I'll let you start with what you got.
I've got, so there's a pair of stickers, Tosh self-propelled stickers.
Cool.
Let me get on camera. And
let's go full screen even. Let's go full screen. That's cool. Yeah. That's cool. There you go. So you got 2 of those you're giving away. And of course, I'll give away a Canoe Hound Adventures prize pack, which will consist of a decal pack, 1 of each of my 3 different patches. And then we've also got some stuff in there from Algonquin Outfitters, a free rental and a voucher worth $25 over at Algonquin Outfitters. So tonight's question is going to be, and let me get it on the screen. This will give everybody the opportunity to get entered, if I could find it here. Right there. Where was the first trip that Tosh and Joe paddled on, their first collaboration video? But you know what? They didn't shoot the video, right? you said you did. You guys, neither one of you.
Neither of us have ever made a video of that trip.
Okay, so take that off. So where was the first trip that Tosh and Joe paddled? That's the question.
Yeah.
Got that, everybody? Okay, and you can email your correct answers to coasprize@gmail.com by Saturday at 11:00. What I'll do is I'll do the draw probably on the Sunday. I'll notify the winners, and then I'll collect your information. I'll pass it on to Tosh and myself, of course, and we'll get your prizes out in the mail. So the question is, where was the first trip that Tosh and Joe paddled? Okay, leave it at that. I had a collaboration video on there. I thought it was actually a video, but I didn't know you didn't shoot. So it's cool.
Yeah, we both shot video, but we've never edited anything and never released that trip video.
Is that something? Was there something behind that though? Was that just?
No, it was just not intentional on either.
It wasn't about that, right?
No, it was just that was our kind of the meet and greet and hang out and get to know each other. And, I've thought a couple times about maybe I should try and put something together from that, but maybe in the future we'll see.
I just sent a quick text to somebody here. Sorry about that. I was listening, but you know all about the text. That's all cool. So other plans for the summer. What's in the future for Tosh Self-Propelled? You got any big trips planned this summer or something cutting edge?
There's the biggest trip that I've done so far on the channel is coming up in early June. I'm going to take a trip on the Partridge River so we're starting just north of Cochrane. Yeah. And paddling to Moosonee.
Nice.
All the way up to James Bay. We had a little stint of paddling on the bay and then up the Moose River back to Moosonee.
Oh, you've already done this.
Nope. This is we're heading out the 1st of June. Me and again another guy I met from Instagram. We shot each other a few messages, talked it over. We met for a beer and planned out our route, and we've stayed in touch. We've been planning this since I guess last fall. We started talking about it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we're hoping to hit prime high water and low black flies. We'll see.
Is that Swifty Paddler?
Nope. This is Jason Baines.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Joel. I thought you were just going to pop in your own screen. I didn't know you were
popping in together. What do you mean?
See what happens when you send Joe out to Madawaska and try to teach him how to do a little bit of whitewater paddling?
Yeah. Look, I can't lean back because I look way smaller. Get back. Go on. Get back there.
I'm going to stand up. Okay.
You gotta do like Joe, like the fish. This is how big my fish is.
Exactly. Look how big.
Yeah. So.
You got a juicy ass. I was going to bring one of them.
I saw your detour earlier.
Yeah. I got a couple juicy ass and pompous ass are two of my favorites. So.
Oh, no pompous ass for me. Too big of a nose on the can. It reminds me of myself. It hurts my feelings.
I don't look at the pictures. Actually, I do.
Yeah,
look
this
at the
guy
pictures.
decided to show up today. He said he was over in Madawaska, so he dropped by.
Yeah,
And,
I understand you were doing a little bit of a whitewater course out there, Joe.
Yeah, I don't want to dunk without knowing what I'm doing anymore. Dunking is fine. Dunking is part of it, but you got to know what you're doing. So, like, honestly, before I even did that, before I even dunked a couple of weeks ago, whatever, you can ask Tosh. I've had this course planned for months. I just really, really, really want to be able to up my game.
Yep. Well, you kind of scared the shit out of yourself there, didn't you?
Oh, just a touch, bud.
Yeah. Well, you know what? There's two times I've seen Joe Robinet being quite fearful. One was the one trip I think you did to Algonquin when you were paddling up against the whitewater, and you're like trembling like this, right? See, I remember these things, right?
I was still green. I'm still green now, but I was very green then. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know nothing. Yeah. Very scary.
Yep. So you learned a little bit of something in Madawaska?
I've learned a lot already. Yeah. Today we ran class 3s. Like
really?
Day 2. Day 2. So like we're in tandem boats where normally if you watch my videos, you know I'm in my Swift pack boat with the double blade, but I have a big trip with buddy Kyle, this year in Wawakini. We're going to do the Allen Water River, and it's a legit wilderness whitewater river. So I don't want to go into it unprepared. I don't want to go into it not being able to read the water or anything like that. So super important.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Yeah, I was thinking about that course myself because every time I hit whitewater, I get myself a little too wet. I end up outside of the boat, not inside, right? So
I'm just as wet as if I were to have fallen out of the boat as to when I'm in the boat and I get wet. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
I would recommend it. They're great people. It's a really good course.
Yeah. So, Tosh, when you're planning trips with Joe, how does that come about? Is there, do you just throw an idea his way, or he throws on your way, or is it pretty? There you go. Is it one of those things where you just say, hey, let's plan something here?
Yeah, it just goes back and forth where we throw out ideas. Have you ever thought about going here? What's this place look like? And our trip that we just did on the river. What did you do that week before where you dumped? Yeah, I said, do you want to go back and try it again? And okay, let's go. When can we go? Okay, we'll pick a date and just go.
Get back on the horse, eh?
Yeah,
you got that right.
Yeah.
And did you do the same set of rapids there that you dumped in there,
Joe? We did more. So Tosh ran everything. I did not. I didn't have the confidence, and I didn't have the right boat for it. But I definitely ran the one that I tipped on, and I ran more than that. So it was very helpful having Tosh with me to kind of like watch his line that he took, and just for the peace of mind that like there's someone else there. Like I don't need that all the time. I do a lot of solo trips and stuff, but like whitewater, I really just don't know. You know what I mean? I just don't know yet. So until I get that, it's really nice to have somebody there.
Yeah. You know what? The old buddy system when it comes to paddling whitewater is never a bad thing to have, right?
Never hurts to have another boat there, another person.
Yeah, he won't let me in his canoe though. He keeps yelling at me about that.
Yeah. Which one? The chestnut?
Either any of them. He just doesn't want me near him, I don't think.
The paddle distance all around.
Joe, you keep mentioning that you got a new canoe coming. What's coming your way?
I have a 15-foot Prospector from Swift in an Expedition Kevlar, and I'm no fancy colors or anything. It's just made a Kevlar color, which I actually really like. And the idea is it's a combi. Has 2 seats in it. I can take my 10-year-old daughter Emerald out, on a couple night trip. She can sit in the front and lily dip, practice her strokes, whatever she wants to do. Yeah. But I can also flip that piece around and do like Tosh does with his Prospector, and potentially double blade when I need to, and solo blade in the white water. Now, with it being the Expedition Kevlar, it's a little bit more forgiving than the Kevlar Fusion or the carbon ones that I have. And it will be a little bit more heavy that's the trade-off, right? I'm a little guy. I can't really carry too much. But the idea of this is we're not really portaging so much with this boat. That's the whole point, right? We're going to run the rapids.
Yeah. That's cool. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I got to ask, and this is going to make everybody laugh, but what is it with you and big sexy guys? You got Ethan, you got Tosh here, big strapping young
I
men.
need someone to make me feel like comforted, like you can just do a bear hug and everything's okay. Come on, man. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
I just want someone that can carry him out of the bush.
I know, right? There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
Cool.
I said to him on our last trip there, I'm like, I'm on the fence right now if I'm going to go or not because of my knee, and I wasn't really sure how I was feeling. And I said, if something happens to me and I'm relying on you to carry me out of there, we're both going to die. There's no way around it.
Yeah. It's funny because on that same note of being a big dude, right? I met Teunis, like I say, at the Toronto Outdoor Adventure Show, and never realized like he's a big dude too, right? He's like a big strapping dude, right? So it's like, holy shit. I gotta start. I see all you guys. I gotta start working out again so I can move what's down here, just above the belt, back up to here, right?
Yeah, that's the battle I'm having.
Yeah, you can only suck in the gut for so long, right? Impressive. So
yeah, exactly.
That's cool, man. That's cool. So you mentioned you got this big trip coming up here. What river was that again? The
Partridge River.
The Partridge River. Okay, I've never heard of that one. What else? Is there anything else? Any other collaborations planned?
Yeah, I'm doing a little collaboration with. Well, I'll be going back out with Ron with Swifty Paddler.
Yeah.
We're planning. I don't know if you know Graham and Kate from Great Outdoors.
Yeah. I actually met them at the Outdoor Adventure Show too.
Yeah, they've got a channel. So Graham is going to come with us.
Yeah.
And so right now it's the three of us that we're going to go up and run the Spanish. Ron last year, him and I ran tandem on the Petawawa River. That was his first time ever running whitewater, and I think he caught the bug pretty good. As soon as we got done with that river, he was thinking about where to go paddle next. And the Spanish is just such a great place to go, especially if you want to, learn in fairly forgiving whitewater.
Now, the east or the west?
We'll probably do the east.
The east? Okay. I've never done the east. I've done the west several times, but
yeah.
I
think
there you go. So if you're looking for a fourth to join in, I'm down.
Yeah. We're trying to figure out shuttles and vehicles and everything right now, but that'll be probably mid-July.
And that's probably the reason why I've never done the east is because, getting up there and putting in and then trying to take out, depending where you're taking out too, but a lot easier if you go in the west, you take the bud train in from, right from Sudbury or what's that little town?
Is it Cartier?
Cartier, yeah, from Cartier up to Bisco and then paddle down.
Yeah. I've always wanted to take the train up. It just seems like kind of more of I guess it's more of a romantic kind of mindset for me anyway. To take the train in just seems more interesting.
Yeah, but, you know what? Try it. It's incredible. Joe, you ever done the bud train?
No.
Oh man, you got to do it. It's the coolest adventure because you're on that train and you're actually passing sections of the Spanish that you're actually going to be paddling.
That's
when
cool.
You're paddling back down, you go, "This is where I was. This is that I see."
That's cool. I very well may piggyback on that trip as well. Oh shit! I keep messing with the camera. I very well may piggyback on that trip as well. I do actually have a train trip this year. Kyle and I are going to do the Allen Water in Wabakini. It's a whitewater trip. That's part of the reason that I've taken this course. Like I said, we take the train in, we paddle down the river for like 8 days, and then we get a float plane out. So it'll be really exciting.
Yeah.
See, I'm actually with a dude on that course right now. I don't know if you guys remember. If anyone remembers on Reddit, there was a guy who was like portaging right downtown Toronto into the terminal or whatever.
Okay.
That's the dude. That dude is at the course right now with me, Bob. He's a really cool guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, somebody got it. It was like a big thing on Reddit. Somebody got him from like their balcony because he like lives on Bloor or something, right? Like I'm talking Toronto, right?
Yeah, so he's like portaged into Union Station.
Exactly. Yeah, with his big red. Yeah. Somebody got it from like above.
Yeah, he was getting on the train.
Yeah, it went viral. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. I was thinking about that guy, that Portage from Toronto to Montreal, but not that guy. Not that guy, right?
No, I think this guy he was going on a trip and he was taking I think he was just getting on the train in Union Station, like with all his gear from downtown Toronto. Yep. See if you can duplicate
That's cool. I know somebody else that's done something like that too. See that he learned more than just whitewater skills. He learned a balancing act is what he learned.
Stick with us, kids.
This is anything.
Yeah, Joe, your kids are getting all grown up, eh?
Tell me about it, man. Emerald 10, Autumn's 3. It's wild.
Yep. Like mine are like 29 and 26. Just turned 26. It's like, holy crap, man. And now they're having kids of their own. It's like, oh, CANOEHOUND'S getting old.
Spring chicken. What are you talking about?
I know, right? Yeah. So mentioning the Tosh earlier, I got one grandson now, and I've got another one on the way. So
nice.
I have somebody in about 10 years to carry my pack because I probably won't.
There you go. A little Sherpa.
Yeah. Two of them. One take the pack, one take the canoe.
Yeah. So Tosh, what's one of the things that you find so inspirational about the guy that's beside you there?
Yeah, Tosh.
Oh. On the spot here.
No blush.
I'm about to push you off your chair.
It wouldn't take much.
See now I can point this out to everybody because everybody that's in the chat right now, this is probably what goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, this is where all the schoolgirl giggling happens.
Schoolgirl.
Yeah. Couple beers.
Very true. Yeah. So I think probably the thing that I always admired was just like the constant work ethic of not relying on what you did on the last video or something. Like it's just keep producing videos, keep going out. That one got millions of views, the next one didn't, still gonna go out and make the next one, gonna make the next one. It's just this, like what did you say, 2007 you started doing this? So that's a long time.
Yeah.
And just that slow, that steady progression and keep going, just keep putting out content and keep trying to improve. Just one of those things that I've always noticed and try and do myself if I can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know what? So many people, and those that are not YouTubers, like you see a lot of people in the chat over there, but not everybody's producing videos. It's a lot of damn work, eh, guys? Mm-hmm. Like it's not only are you planning your trips, but you have to get out there and you do your trip, and then you have to get back and you have to edit your trip, and then the whole time that you're editing your trip, you're still planning your next trip. For those for guys like yourselves that are putting.
You're right.
Yeah,
you're right. Bang on.
Well, I'll give you just a breakdown of last week. So I got up Monday morning at 3 a.m. and I drove 6 hours to meet Joe. We paddled all day. We were up till about 11 that night, hanging around the fire and whatever, running white water all day. So we spent 2 days on the river. Our second night we camped beside our trucks. We had gone and retrieved the trucks on the shuttle and everything, and had a pretty terrible sleep. Got up in the dark and just decided, okay, didn't sleep great, but I've got a 6-hour drive to get back home now. All right, head down, just gonna start driving. I got home, had to unpack, dry out all my gear that was, wet, air everything out. And Joe messaged me and said, okay, do you think you'll be ready to put your video out on Friday? And this was
like 2 days.
This was Wednesday afternoon. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. So dumped everything onto the computer Wednesday night, it's all processing, and then spent all day Thursday, like basically, 8 o'clock in the morning until I don't know what time I finished that. By the time the video was actually complete, and then spent some time trying to make a thumbnail and whatever. Then the internet is terrible at my house. So it would take 3 or 4 days to upload that video here. So Friday morning I got up, My girlfriend lives in Ottawa. Packed a bag for the weekend, drove to Ottawa, uploaded that afternoon at her place, and had the video up by 5 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
But that was Monday to Friday, just a whirlwind to try and get that out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's it takes a lot. Joe, how long does it take you to pump out a video typically?
I got it down now. I got that Elon Musk internet, bro.
Yeah.
You can't ask for much more than that. You know what I mean? Like, it used to take me, when I first started, honest to God, like, my videos have always been about 40 minutes, right? Give or take. It would take me 2 days to edit a video. Now I got it down. If I go out in a day, if it's just a day video, I can go out, shoot that video, come back, edit it in about 2 hours, and have it uploaded in about 2 hours too, because of Elon Musk. I'm not joking. I used to have to drive into the Sioux, and it would take me 2-hour round trip, and I'd have to go use some random ass like internet wherever to upload it. Now I can upload it about 4 hours from my house, so it's a lifesaver.
Spent a lot of time at Tim Hortons, eh? Tim Hortons free Wi-Fi.
They kicked me out. No, not really.
Yeah. Well, you're having all kinds of trouble there during the onset of COVID too, because everything was closed and you couldn't go upload, right?
Yeah, I was lucky. I think, there was only a little crossover. I had an office I was allowed to use as well for a couple bits, so it was okay. But now it's like I can really crush it out. I can get it done and put it up pretty quickly. But what does take me long is when I use, multiple cameras. I'm out for multiple days type thing. That's some effort for sure.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to ask you both a question here, and this kind of relates to what I do here, because every episode of Canoe Hounds Outdoor Adventure Show is like a collaboration video. I have various guests on, so we're both relying on each other's channels for channel growth. What do you see as the best benefit of doing collaboration videos? Now, this can go out to other YouTubers too, to sort of give them a mindset of why collaborations and why YouTube favors collaboration videos, right?
I couldn't tell you. Personally, for me, it's just about meeting people that might be a good tripping partner, and then go from there. I have never, ever done a collaboration with a YouTube channel that's bigger than mine. So I don't know. You know what I mean? But for me personally, like when Tosh reached out, when whoever reaches out, to me, it's just like, can this guy be a good partner? That's basically it.
Sure thing. Yeah.
I gotta pee again.
Go for it.
I'm going up.
Yeah,
for me. Sorry, Tosh?
I was going to say, for collaborations, it's just, for me, it's a little variety.
Yeah.
I do a bunch of trips on my own, and I enjoy paddling solo. I mean, I've always got Cooper, and he's a great partner to have on the boat with me. But for me, it's just go out with somebody, and there's a little bit of banter back and forth and some camaraderie. And it's just a different vibe to the trip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's cool. So you mentioned Cooper. So is he a good canoe partner?
Oh, he's the best. I mean, I've run class 3 whitewater with him, and he just sits in the boat looking at me as waves coming over, and hot days in the summertime, and we just pull over. He'll have a little swim, and he's ready to get back in again. He carries his own pack on the portages, and he's just always nice to have around, hang out. Somebody to hang out with, and
Sure.
Yeah,
that's cool. Did it take much training to get him used to the canoe? I know some dogs they take all the training in the world, and some you put them in there and it's their best friend.
Yeah, he never seemed to mind it. I think it was just I started him really early. He was only about 4 months old the first time he rode in the canoe, and I let him walk around it a few times and get up and move around the boat, and then just teaching him what place I want him to sit in when we're paddling. And yeah, he's really taken to it. I mean, there's a clip on the Sun Sturgeon River. We run down this chute, and we hit a big curling wave, and this wall of water comes over the front of the boat, and he was asleep in the bow seat, like just ahead of the bow seat, and this wall of water comes over the boat and lands right on top of him. And he sat up and looked around like, what was that? He's so easygoing, yet
Labs love the water anyways. They don't care. Labs and golden retrievers, you get them wet, and it's like it's welcoming to them, right?
Yeah, and he's fallen in love with Joe because every time we go, Joe's throwing salami to him.
Dude, the last time we were on a trip, no joke, I'm in my own boat because Tosh hates, like I said already, he won't let me near his canoe. So we're in our own boats, and I'm like, open a pack. I'm starving. I'm a little guy. I got nothing on my bones. I'm starving. I'm eating some jerky, and this Cooper's just salivating from the other boat. Just Tosh said, "Why are you crying? You never cry." I know it's my fault, but I'm just laughing. Like, I love Cooper. He's an awesome dog. Really, really, really good dog.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Yeah. Guys, what do you think? Would you like to take, if I post the link there, you want to take a couple of questions from
of course. Yeah,
some people popping in? Okay, everybody, I'm going to drop the link here in the chat, and if anybody wants to come up, and we'll try and limit it to like one question there so that we can get as many people on as possible. And here is the link, and all you need to do when you pop into StreamYard is just set up the prompts. You got camera, you got microphone, enter studio, and please make sure you shut off your YouTube volume, and you'll be able to hear your feed through StreamYard itself. So feel free to pop in, ask a question of the boys here, and maybe get something answered. Somebody was asking about, and where was this question here? Sorry, I just got to backtrack a touch here in the chat. I think it was something about what, here it is. What map resources do each of you use?
Yeah, this has been a big one.
Toporama.
Yeah.
It's free. Toporama.
Is that Toporama or Avenza?
That's the one I use.
I'm very sorry. It's Avenza.
Yeah.
It's Avenza.
Okay.
It's Avenza. Use the Toporama once in Avenza because they're free. So Avenza is free. Once you download it, you can like look for like anywhere in Ontario, anywhere, wherever.
Yeah, any government of Canada topographical maps are on there.
I would go with Toporama though, because there's different companies that you can get for free. Like
I think they have like back roads maps on there and everything that you can pay for, but Toporama maps are all free.
Yeah.
And that app will track you when you're in airplane mode.
Mm-hmm.
It'll still pinpoint your location.
Yeah, it uses very, very, very little battery. I freaking have like a super duper GPS with like $1,000 road trip, back roads map in it for the chip, and it doesn't compare to this free download on an app.
Yeah.
Like the event.
I've got one similar. I don't know if we could see that. Let's see here. It's going to focus.
Blurry.
Probably not. It's called, let me put autofocus on here for a minute. This is going to.
What DSLR did you get, Dennis?
What I've got Canon EOS SL3.
There you go.
Yeah, it's a cheapie.
Yeah.
And if it dunks, I don't feel as bad as a
That's how I felt.
Yeah, anyways, I use what's called Canada Maps, and it's an app on an Android phone. You can get a free version, but I bought the paid version just because I thought it was well worth $14. Right. And there again, you could download map sections of wherever you're going and stuff like that. And it's incredible. But
depending on the length of the trip, I go old school. So this is a stack of maps for that Partridge River trip.
Yeah.
These are all 1 to 50,000 topographical maps. I get them through World of Maps. They're not the cheapest place probably to get them. You could maybe print them off on your own. But this is what I used in the Army all the time, was this style. And I feel very comfortable with the mapping compass going anywhere off of this map. So yeah, I like having these just as a backup, right? The battery never dies. My compass is always good. And if something was to happen while I'm out on a remote trip and I need to go cross country for some reason, I feel very comfortable. We did it all the time in the Army, was shoot bearings and go on compass bearings through the bush. And so with this map and a compass, this is my preferred method for something remote.
That's why I trip with Tosh.
There you go. Let him use the map and compass, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you where to go.
I too, I'm a map guy as well, with a backup of, stuff like this here, or my GPS, especially I just picked up a new Garmin, but so I typically prefer maps as well. And if you're unsure, that's when the GPS comes out just to give you a pinpoint, right? That's kind of
so
nice.
like for our trip, I've got the like upcoming. There's the Algonquin map, just the generic Algonquin, and then on the other side, I have printed off Jeff's maps for the specific route. And yeah, Algonquin and Killarney and stuff like that. Jeff's maps are pretty awesome. They're hard to beat.
Very hard to beat, especially with that new unlost-to-find nonsense. I freaking hate that crap.
Yeah.
I'm a lot the same way. Being a graphic designer too by trade is I can actually download all my maps and then I piece them together and then I just print off in wide format the sections that I need, and then I'll laminate them and stuff like that. So it's kind of
that's the problem with these maps. Getting them from World of Maps is you get the square. And I was looking at some of them for James Bay. The portion that I actually need is only a few square inches of the river, and then the rest of the entire map is just blue water of James Bay.
Right.
So probably end up cutting that part off and just take the portion I need, but.
Sure.
Yeah, if I could print them like you, then I might do it that way.
Paddle planner is another really cool thing.
Paddle planner?
Paddle planner, yeah.
That's an app, right?
It's a website, and you can plan it. So they go on people who have previously paddled in places. Like Algonquin would have like a million things on it. Like Wabakini would have maybe a couple hundred. You know what I mean? It's really, really, really helpful, really useful. People can put their own things on it, like on specific campsites, whether or not they're good, anything like that. It's really helpful.
Cool. I never heard of that one. I'll have to.
Yeah, check it out. You're pretty. Yeah.
That's all right. Let's see here. We had nobody pop into the basement. Everybody is too damn shy tonight.
Where's Marty?
Yeah, right. Let's see here. Backcountry Evolution. Question for Joe: is the InReach Explorer worth it for GPS features?
I don't use it for the GPS features at all, so I couldn't tell you. Honest to God, I wouldn't get it if you were just trying to do the GPS. I would just honestly download a free Avenza map on your phone for GPS. Like it's on point. It really, really, really works. I've used it on like 4 or 5. Really, I used it all on my Wabakini trip. I wouldn't have been able to do that trip as easily without it. And I also have a Magellan backcountry, like a super expensive one, and I just don't use it anymore. There's no point for me to use it. So I really wish I would have got the InReach that works with your cell phone, because now I just bring my cell phone for the maps and type it in, but I have the full InReach that has the text and everything. For GPS, I wouldn't. Personally, like I like GPS for, even if I'm in Algonquin, I don't want to go down the wrong bay. If I'm in a big ass lake, you know what I mean? I don't want to go down mistake myself, because I'm bad for direction. Like anybody can say whatever they want. I know it. If I go down the wrong bay, if I'm trying to make up some time, it's useless. Fight the wind, come back. If I'm just like trying to find somewhere, I'll look really quick, make sure I know exactly where I am on my GPS, and then go. It's the easiest for me. And I did not start that way. This is like evolved into this, and I very much appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tosh, you mentioned, okay, now you're in the military and you've got all your map and compass skills. What other kind of skills have you carried over from your days in the military into your backcountry exploring?
I think probably the one thing that the military just teaches you all the time is like just to be self-reliant. Some very basic like first aid skills, how to treat yourself for minor injuries. But yeah, the biggest thing is just learning how to travel light and depend on like yourself, right? If there's no one else around, you're the only one. And so it was easy for me going into the military, because I had traveled and canoe tripped a lot solo already. Mm-hmm. And so that was an easy skill to learn. So it amazes me how many guys in the Army had never spent a night in the woods by themselves, ever. And we did that several times, doing like escape and evasion training, and you'd have to get from point A to point B without getting caught, and you'd be out there overnight on your own. And doing navigation at night, learning how to use a compass with no light. Like we would navigate with just a compass in the pitch black, no headlamps on because you're tactical. So you want to use a light to check your map. You have to, put a coat over your head and lay on the ground, and so nobody else can see your light. So it's just really learning to move, to be independent and take care of yourself and other people.
I love how you wipe your hand at me. Other people, take care of Joe.
Well, he did mention the escape and evade. So, well, you know what? We do have a couple people that popped into the basin here. Let's see. I recognize this guy here. This is Keith, one of the owners of Kid Products. How you doing, Keith?
I'm good. How are you?
Where the hell are you?
I am on Canis Bay Lake in Algonquin Park.
Up there doing some trout fishing, are you?
How are
Yes,
the flies?
Yeah, how are the
Hey?
bugs?
How are the
Good
flies?
reception. Well,
There are no bugs.
No kidding.
No kidding. All day. Now, mind you, I can see my breath, but
Okay.
It's a trade-off.
there hasn't been, even since I got here in the rain about noon, and there's been no bugs all day.
Very cool. Many people?
I'm the only boat on the lake.
on Canis Bay on Highway 6.
Good for you, sir. Good for you.
I'm off of Highway 60, right in the middle of the park at kilometer 23, and there's
That's wild.
nobody here. I'm the only car in the parking lot.
Wow.
That's wild.
Sorry. Oops. So what do you got for the boys, Keith?
So, Tosh, when you're doing your big trips, especially when you're going up to James Bay, what are you taking for food?
Everything will be either dehydrated here at home or freeze-dried.
Okay.
I'll purchase some freeze-dried meals just to mix it up a little bit, but typically it's just stuff I've dehydrated.
Oh, yeah.
I actually just ordered a freeze dryer, so I'm gonna start freeze drying my own food here at home. But yeah, everything will be dried out, nothing fresh.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, my wife and I are looking into getting a freeze dryer too. One of the Harvest.
Yep.
It's the brand you got. Good to go, Co.
Yep. Yes. Yeah. Good to go.
Yeah.
That's the name.
Cool.
Yeah, I ordered the medium one. It should be here. It might be here by the end of the month.
Cool.
I haven't got an exact delivery date.
So it'll take you longer to dehydrate everything, and then it does or freeze dry everything that does to do your video.
Yeah. 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 I like it though because it's going to give some variety. You can freeze dry because it freeze dries with cold rather than heat, like a dehydrator does. You can preserve just about anything.
Excellent. So, Keith, you having any luck out there? You get any trout yet?
Today, we're not going to go out there today with our 30 to 50 kilometer-hour winds all day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was really windy here today too.
You're not controlling the boat all day. It was a little tough to get into the wind, and it was even worse coming back because it was just like you're just moving.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's all right. Well, hopefully you'll get into a few. How long are you there till?
Friday.
Nice.
Nice.
I'm truly
before
jealous.
the weekend crowds show up.
Yeah. Cool. Anything else for the boys?
Dennis, the nearest you're going to get is go out to your day camp.
Yeah. I have plans of doing that this weekend, I hope.
I hear you're going Sunday.
Quite possibly.
Yeah, that's what I heard from Ingo.
If the wife will let me free. Yeah. She wants me to build a fence this weekend, so yeah.
Oh, your fence that fell down.
Yes. Yeah. Damn wind.
I have one of those too.
You come build mine, and then I'll watch you build yours. How's that?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Keith. I appreciate you popping
Take care, guys. Have a good one.
Cool.
You too.
And let's bring up Evan next. How you doing, Evan?
Hey, cool. Pretty good. Good to see you guys. My first time being on. I tried to get the light set up all right here. Man, it's so cool to see Tosh. It's good to see you guys. Dennis, you too. I was just thinking it was neat to see Joe pop up. I've been following you, man, since like you lost your fire steel on that season there. You kind of got me hooked onto the outdoors life. So I've been just in the outdoors ever since that. But I guess 2 questions. One relating back to earlier, Tosh, are you going to be like selling any of those meals, do you think, or is that just like a for yourself?
Yes, he is. He is going to do that. Yes.
That's
I've
awesome.
had a few people ask that, and I don't know. I'm gonna just start running my own through it. And
That's great, man.
I've had a few people say that they would like some, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see where it goes. I'm just gonna try it out at home.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, me too.
Gosh, all your canoe buddies are going to be you're going to be their meal ticket now, right?
Yeah.
No more buying Mountain House and Alpen Airs, right?
Dennis, if you need any extra hand for packaging or design work, I can help you out. I'll be your little sous chef designer. If you need any extra help, man, I'm here for you. But I guess my main question I wanted to come on was I went up to Nipissing this weekend with my girlfriend. I had a great time. I caught my first brook trout.
Nice, man.
Awesome. So we brought just like so I have a silky, like the Katana Boy, like the 500, so the really big one. But I was trying to throw up, like, should I bring a hatchet, or like I ended up just bringing my Mora and the silky, but I was trying to throw up, like, should I bring my hatchet because it's like 2 pounds, or should I bring an axe? So I was just wondering, like, what you guys think if you're trying to like conserve on weight, and that's like your
I certainly have my own opinion. I'll let Tosh go first.
Cool.
If I'm concerned about weight on a trip, usually the axe is one of the first things to go.
Cool.
I've really the last year fallen in love with the silky big boy. I like the size of that saw and the versatility of it. Yeah, you can get 2 hands on it when you need to, and it's small enough that you can run it with 1 hand pretty easy. And it does virtually everything I need to do for firewood prep.
Nice.
But if wood's not an issue, yeah, I'll pack along an axe. Just it's fun to use.
Cool.
You want to have a bigger fire.
I've gone both ways many times. I've been on a canoe trip for 5 days where it didn't stop raining the whole time, and if I didn't have some sort of little hatchet or at least a decent knife enough to split wood, I would have never had a fire going.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
There's no break.
There's
no breaking.
I've heard like people saying like don't baton a knife because it might crack the blade, but I've never. I don't know.
No, man. If you have any kind of even the slightest decent quality of a knife, it's not going to crack the blade.
Cool.
I have batoned folding knives, Swiss Army knives, everything like that. You just have to do it be easy on it, like understand where it's supposed to flex and everything.
Yeah.
If you don't have a way to split down wood, if it's been raining for freaking 5-6 days, good luck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Even if you're running a twig stove, whether or not you're trying to light a fire, whatever the freaking case may be, you either need a knife big enough to split wood or you need a little tiny hatchet.
Yeah.
Now, if it's in the middle of the summertime, I don't care. I'll bring a pocket knife and a saw. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter to me. But if it's spring, if it's winter, maybe even fall, I'm probably going to bring a small hatchet or a decent sized belt knife where I can baton. The outdoor axe by Gransford Brooks is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this big, it weighs not much, and it's got a wedge head, and it'll split everything you need to. But that said, a decent belt knife, even a Mora, you know what I mean? As long as you understand your wood selection, you're good.
Awesome.
But the weight savings is yeah.
We're trying to like mix like ultra light world and canoeing. My girlfriend.
That's my life. Mixing that is my life, 100%. Like it's weird. I'm a bushcrafter who uses ultralight gear. You know what I mean? So it's like,
right. I did my first portage trip last year with my girlfriend. We did the Hogan Loop in Algonquin Park, and it was like 40 kilometers of portaging, and it was a 130 kilometer trip, and we were, I guess, semi prepared for it, and it set us up because we definitely want to just keep doing more trips as we go.
Good for you.
That's awesome. That's a good first trip. 130K and 40K of portage.
It set my back up.
With both feet.
Another thing that you might think of is splitting up the gear. You know what I mean? Like if you're going with someone, maybe they carry the tarp. So they carry the tarp for the trip. You carry the little hatchet. Maybe they carry the grill. Whatever the case may be. The few pieces of communal gear that it might be, switching it up like dividing it is probably the best bet.
Yeah, yeah. I had that conversation with the guy that I'm doing the partridge brewer with yesterday. We sat on the phone and just went through a gear list and, okay, if you bring this, I'll bring this, and go back and forth. And we were able to probably eliminate 5 pounds each out of our packs just by sharing some stuff, right? We don't need 2 tarps. We don't need 2 bug shelters.
And now you usually do tent. Sorry, Dennis. I was just wondering if you do tenting usually, not hammocking.
Yeah, I've tried a couple different hammocks. I'm not, with my low back, I found the hammocks just not comfortable.
Okay.
Cool. I prefer to be on the ground.
Yeah.
Evan, if I may suggest, when you watch Joe's videos, and if you go back a couple of years too, and you watch some of his earlier videos, watch his axe skills. Joe is a very good axeman. He practices it pretty safe, and if you watch the way he handles an axe and the way he processes wood, I'd say 99.9% spot on.
Me too.
So, yeah, he handles it really well. So,
yeah.
And I'm glad he's out of the room, so his head doesn't.
On that note, I'll leave you guys all a good night. It was really nice to be on. I hope I'll be on again sometime soon.
Yeah, man. You know what? We always put the link up. So, thanks for popping in, Evan, and thanks for the support. I always see you in the chat over there, so it's great.
Good to see you.
Cheers, man. Bye bye. Yeah, there we go. We got 2 more fellas in here. Let's bring Marty up for a minute. Hey, Marty.
Let's go.
What's up, big guy?
What's going on, buddy?
You guys call me.
I excuse myself when I go to the bathroom. No. How you doing, Marty? Good to see you, man.
Thank you. I'm doing good, man. You guys are having a good time?
Yeah. Yeah, this guy he won't leave me alone.
Well,
what do you got for the boys, Marty?
You called me up, so I had to come up. I was trying to put the kids down. At this time of the year, you need to shift the timing. The kids don't go to bed at 7 anymore. They go to bed at 8:30. So it's harder to get on the show when the light.
Yeah.
Joe knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Hey, Marty, I gotta say, I've been liking your little video shorts there that you've been doing.
Say that again?
I've been enjoying your video shorts that you've been putting out there. They're pretty good.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, they've been doing fine. It's been fun, man. I mean, like, it's just like, it's a way to give more to the audience. Just like if you make a 10-minute video, you can chop it up into 3-minute 1-minute video. It's fun. And it's just like, it's I don't know, it's a cool way to put some educational content out. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
There's Joe falling in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just making myself look smaller next to big old Tosh here. There we go. There we go.
No, you guys need to sit back. Yeah, it's all about perspective. When are you gonna start working on those pipes? That's the question.
What are you talking about, bro? Don't make me embarrass you with these pythons.
If you're gonna go into white water, man, you're gonna need the strength.
Tell me about it. I'm learning that.
Yeah, dude, it's fun out there, man. You guys had a good time on that trip I saw on the videos. That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, how long were you guys out there for? Just 2 days?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 days.
Joe, you putting out a video for that?
I did. It got restricted, man.
Come on, for what?
I'm not too sure. Running white water, I really don't know. They never give me an answer. I can never talk to them. It's happened for like the past 5 years. It's just certain videos. I don't know what to tell you. The one before, when I fell in, they didn't restrict that. You know what I mean? I don't know. And they won't answer me. Like, they won't ever, like, you don't. People think, like, oh, you have like 1 million subs. They must, like, you know, they don't talk to me at all. They don't give a shit about me. I'm nothing to them. Nothing.
Yeah.
Dude, it's that's reassuring. Well, not reassuring, but it's like I've had a couple of restricted videos where you get like dinged, right? Like get like whatever, like one of your links in your description is bad, and then you'll get ding, and then it's like if you get 3, you're gonna be banned, and you're like, well, like,
what did I do?
Yeah, what did I do?
What did I do? Exactly.
You guys are badass and controversial. That's all it is, right?
Yeah.
It's weird because, like, I know personally, because normally they restrict things for age restriction or dangerous activity. And personally, for mine, it's always been dangerous activity because it's never been age restriction. So it's like, I don't know if I'm showing a knife too close to the screen, or if I'm like making a fire, or like eating a fish. Like, it's all bull crap to me. It doesn't make sense, but whatever their rules are, they won't tell me. Like, if they just told me, like, hey, I would make sure that I follow those rules because this is my livelihood. I would make sure of that, but they won't tell me.
Yeah.
So it's like, is this video going to be restricted? Is this going to make me some money? Who knows? Like,
yeah, it's
and it was a great.
Sometimes I think they do that because you know what? The odd time my show will get it'll get a review, or no, it'll be limited. I think they call it limited, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And they do that, I think, sometimes just to keep you on your toes, and they expect you to appeal it, right? And then if you appeal it, then they'll review it, and then they'll change it, right?
You know what? I had a really popular video, my best video for years. It would earn me like 16,000 subscribers a month. It was a big video for me. It was up for like 3 years. Out of nowhere, they restricted it. Okay, after 3 years, I fought it. Took me a month to get it reversed. The next dang day, restricted again.
No.
So it's just like, I think it's an algorithm. I think it's a bot. I don't think it's an actual person. I just think it's crap that they have, and they tag words or whatever you're doing, and it's like, nope, no go. You know what I mean? But it's not the same across the board, because what I can't do, some other people can do, and they'll get away with, and vice versa. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And that trip, there was so much in that 48 hours on that trip.
Right.
Like from white water to like these 300-foot sandbanks. So all of a sudden we came around one corner, and both of us are in the canoe, just like jaw hits the bottom of the boat. We come around the corner, and there's at least a 300-foot cliff that's more than a kilometer long.
Yeah, full expanse. Yeah.
Like the river just turns, and we're paddling straight towards it, and it's just this mountain of rock. There's still ice up in the crevices and everything. Like, there's so much crammed into that short period that it really sucks that it got restricted.
Yeah, it's a shame.
It turned out so good.
Yeah, like normally my videos get at least 100,000 views, and it's at like 55,000 after a few days. So that really shows you. So when it's restricted, a few things happen. The advertisers don't want to pay, which whatever, okay, fine. But the views, which really suck for me because I want people to see my video, they get restricted. If you have restricted mode on, so if my video gets restricted, I put restricted mode on my channel, I can't even see my own video. It doesn't show up. Okay?
It's called
so that's
shadow
how bad. What's that?
Shadow ban.
Shadow ban, exactly. So it's like, it's real bad across the board, like for the whole thing. But anyways, I don't know what to do with it.
Fuck.
Anyway.
Well,
so Tosh, I saw you got a new toy in your arsenal of cameras, one that can fly. I got one this year as well. I got a drone, man. How you been enjoying that?
Yeah, it's added just a different dynamic to the whole trip. I was really on the fence about it for a long time, because I always thought like this, it's kind of intrusive in a way, right? This thing humming and buzzing around a campsite or whatever. So I tend to just take it, to remote places where I'm not gonna obviously piss off somebody else, because I think
that's not Algonquin Park, right?
Well, yeah. You can't fly them in the parks anyway, but
I know.
But yeah, the footage on it is phenomenal. Like,
dude, which one did you get?
The Mini 2, Mavic Mini 2.
Okay, the Mini 2. I got the Mavic Air 2. I actually needed a license, like you know how there's 2 license, like the minimum and the big. I needed the minimum, and mine had to be.
That's why I bought the one I did, because it is the cutoff is 250 grams for weight, and this one comes in at 249.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's designed for not needing a license, and it's so small.
Dude, I'm in love with mine. I mean, the whole like permit thing is pretty easy to get, and I got the Mavic 2. I didn't even think of the weight. It was just like good deal, good price, good timing, and I don't like shopping, so it was like, I had a friend that was like, and I was like 4K 60 frames per second, let's go. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like it's like it didn't even bother me. But man, that's dude, for me have you been enjoying just flying it, like just alone flying? is so fun.
Yeah, I actually can't fly it at my house because of the base, and there's a municipal airport close by. But yeah, I've taken it out a few times just to get familiar flying it around. And
the thing that nobody knows is that it's actually hard to fly. Like, it's easy to fly around to go see, but to get good shots, good pans, and good, like, it's not easy.
Yeah, to get nice, smooth, flowing shots and everything.
But
I loved it when I went out the other day. Just that little solo trip I did a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that's where I noticed it. Yeah,
yeah, flying along, and then I flew it across the lake, and then just went up above the trees. And as the sun was setting, the view from 120 meters, which is the ceiling on this thing, is phenomenal. Like, the pinks across the water and the whole sky lit up, and there's no other way you get that shot.
No, it's I used it a lot for I did just a day vlog trip down one of the small rivers where I go, like, just a white trip day, and I just used it. I find it such a cool tool for storytelling, to situate people, because you don't have audio to it or anything like that, so and overusing it is kind of too much. But like, if you just position it in good times, it just positions your scenes like you could never do it before. It's
watching John's latest video today, I was saying the same thing to Tosh. It's like, man, those freaking drone shots set it off. Like, and you're right, you don't want it, like, it's not 20 minutes of drone, it's like peppered in here and there, right? Just adding so much value to the video.
Yeah,
for sure.
It just, if you're gonna try to position yourself in a time space for the audience, and like on that video of mine, I even finished the video on that shot. I brought it back at the end. Like, I told one of my buddies to go out at the front, and I just filmed him as he's like just top down, as he's going down like a just little class 2. It's like, holy shit, this is like, it just doesn't get better than that. And they'll track you now. Like, I'm super stoked. I tried getting it to track us on that trip, but the white pines were so tall and we're so small. I had to have it so high it couldn't keep up with us. I'm hoping I'm going on the Coulanges in a couple of weeks, as you guys know, and then I'm hoping like it's going to be a little wider, so I can just have it over top of me, like not too high, but track me through a couple of class 3s or something. Like, give a perspective you never see, right?
Yeah, that's a very cool angle.
Yeah.
Hey, boys, I got one more guy in the basement here I'd really like to get up here.
Yeah, get him up.
I'll keep you in, Marty. I'll keep you in.
Who's up?
Yeah, you know what? We'll just forego the intro. We'll just bring him up. Uncle Kevin.
Let's go.
Oh, I was hoping Kevin might show up.
How you doing, Kevin? What's going on,
This
bud?
seems to happen too often, Dennis. You know,
Fix your hair.
Kevin and I.
Fix your hair.
Look at the boys being boys, Kevin.
Hey, how you doing? Woo!
Oh, hey, Kevin.
Hey. Oh my God.
Hey.
Well, first of all, Tosh, I love your show. That's fantastic. I get excited because you have a dog, you have trout, you have a canoe, and you got an attitude. Love it. Yeah, Marty, I agree with that. Those quick things you're doing on Instagram makes me feel young again. You know. And Joe is great. Today I interviewed one of the Canadian guys from the Alone season 9, and I even quoted you.
What did you say?
I don't know. I'm just making that one up.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Yeah, the first two,
Right.
Marty,
Right. You can just leave me out of it. Don't even acknowledge me.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I'm just saying your name because, like, you know, just
right.
I'm just joking. All right. No. I actually didn't know that your whitewater one got tossed. I watched it before it got tossed, I think. Did the last thing you did, like, Tosh, you and Joe were together. You did a whitewater one. I watched yours, and Joe, was yours on for a bit, and then they tossed it?
I think so. Yeah, man. I think it was on.
I think I was the last one to watch it, and I can't believe you did that whitewater naked. I couldn't believe you did that.
Well, you know what? I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, you do now.
I mean, I'm gonna ask all three of you guys a good question. Sorry, I just got in. I was doing some work today, but so Tosh, well, I love watching your show because of the routes you do. I actually, I'm reliving the route, the canoe route, right? And the one I really liked was the Sturgeon Chiniguchi one. Yeah. I just thought that was fantastic. What canoe route would you redo again? Even if you filmed it or not, it doesn't matter if you did, but what would you do again? And you got 2 seconds, go.
I'm doing it this summer, the Spanish River.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I've done the Spanish twice already. I did a video of it last year. And I'm taking with me this year Ron Burrow, Swifty Paddler, and Graham from Great Outdoors is coming. And this guy's talking about coming.
Do you guys gather other YouTubers because you don't really have good friends, like real friends?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's what happens. Yeah. I think it's just like-minded people, and these are the people that I follow on Instagram and see on YouTube, and I think, hey, he seems like an all right guy. Maybe he wants to go paddle sometime.
We don't all have a Speedo guy.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord! I just got off trip with Speedo Man. I got B-roll that should never be seen.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Oh,
me
no.
too.
Joe,
Kevin, you lived it. That's another level.
It was the point where the man's deranged. Okay, it was black fly season. The bugs were out. He had that Speedo jacked up his back end like no tomorrow.
I believe it.
Instagram.
Do you remember what he did to me in the freaking hot tub?
Yeah, but you only lived it for a bit.
It's bushcraft, Joe. It's bushcraft. Freaking dead cat and his jockey.
Oh my
Lord.
Oh, and then he has this thing now too, where filming, he'll moon, and it's not just a moon; it's like something else is sagging down while he's mooning.
Oh, fruit bowl.
Yeah, I can't show that.
No, you can't.
No, I can't. And even if I put a blur on it, like
I saw
your last video got chucked. Mine will get chucked for sure. For heaven's sakes! Oh my God!
Come on, John.
Oh man! And actually, John, you will love this too. You guys will love this too. A great moment of fishing, right? So we're out for 5 days. For 3 days, that man caught no fish, and he gets very upset. Like, I don't care if I catch fish, whatever. But I'm in the back and I'm steering him around, and he says, "Well, you're Irish. You do all the work. I'm English. Whatever.
Yeah.
And I caught like fish after fish after fish, and he's getting angry, just angry, right? And everybody's getting upset with the whole trip because he's angry all the time. He's upset. He's grumpy. He's mooning and flashing and wearing the Speedo more than usual. And then, sure enough, the fourth day in, I go around the bend because the temperature dropped, the barometer dropped. I said, "Look, we'll catch a fish this morning," because it was a heat wave a bit when we're out, and it dropped. And if we go around the corner, he catches a fish, and I said, "Thank goodness, I don't have to hear anymore your bloody complaints." He goes, "That's why you're excited about me catching fish?" Yes. Oh.
I heard that you had a little vodka problem out there.
Oh, I had to take that. Speaking of videos, I had to take that down, not because of YouTube. My daughter said, "Dad, I saw that. Take it down." And yeah,
that was it.
Yeah, so I took it down with whatever, but that's the only answer that could have happened. Like, if you have a thing of vodka that's cracked open and is full of water, and you take it on a trip, and I didn't do that at my house. Like, who did that? You had your 17-year-old daughter. Just say.
Is she 17?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Emerald's going to be there before you know it, Joe.
Yeah. How long?
Yeah. Sorry, dude. It's
bad.
Where are you at, Joe? 10? How old is Emerald? 10? Yeah, Charlotte is 10.
Oh, 10's a great age. When they're 16 and 17, they become aliens. They do. Yeah.
Not looking forward to that one.
I've been going out with my kids ever since they're born, on trips, and the trips are fine, but the day trips are getting harder and harder to get them out. And we've been doing this since they're in diapers. Rosie was in diapers 24/7 the first backcountry trips I did with her, and it's they're just getting to a point where it's like Minecraft and friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just so
Power said daughter power.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I know we were supposed to go for a walk the other day, and she goes, "No, Dad, I can't. My boyfriend and I we have our anniversary." I said, "Anniversary? What
Boyfriend?"
Yeah, boyfriend. I didn't. Yeah. I said, "What?" And she goes, "Yeah, we've been going out for a month."
Oh, well,
Hey, that's
the
big
gift
for
a 1 month anniversary?
Don't you not remember those days, Kevin? I know it's been a while, but
Well, the whole vodka thing, I kind of found it funny because I was 17 too, and I'm pretty sure I watered vodka in my parents' place. I'm
pretty sure or 1,000,000% sure.
Yeah, pretty darn sure I did that.
Yeah, I like the way you capped that one off, though, Kevin, by saying you're pretty proud.
So Joe, what's the trip you would do in a heartbeat again, whether you filmed or not?
Oh man, this big northern. I've been on a lot of cool trips, other places than Algonquin, but honest to God, I keep going back to this fall Algonquin trip that Kyle and I did. We went up Birchcliff Creek. It was bull crap. It was hard. It was like such arduous travel, but I remember every second of it, and that's really, really, really precious to me.
That was a good trip. And actually, the one trip you did with him, you went from Cedar Lake. Is that the same trip that you went from Cedar Lake?
I think so.
Yeah, that was a great video. Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it was a really memorable trip. One of the first times I ever really remember getting out on the lake at night and watching the sunset go down and feeling that like inner peace. You know what I mean? That tranquility, that watching the sun on the water and everything change from the pinks to the blues, everything in between. You know what I mean? And I've always been chasing that since, and I've had it a few times since. But that's just ingrained in my brain, like a visual picture.
That's great. That's great. You know, the great thing about Algonquin too was we're out a few lakes in, and there's a bush road, a logging road, and there's two vehicles there, and they got into the lake we went to, and it took us 2 days, or actually 3 days to get to it. And I went, "What the hell is going on?" So I actually quickly just videotaped their license plates. And then I went out, and I know the conservation or the park ranger at the end, and they're like, "Yeah, we're looking for them. Can you help us out?" And I went, "Here's the license plates." And they're like, "Thank you." And they got caught. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, think about it. If you portage and paddle for 3 days,
bust your ass 2 days to get in there.
Yeah.
And these guys drive in.
Yeah, they had a key. Miraculously, they had a key to get into the gate, right? So how did they get that? And the thing is, I don't care if locals do that. To be quite honest, if locals do that, I don't live there. That's fine if they do that. But they weren't locals, so yeah, they got busted big time.
Good.
Yeah. Oh my. All right, Marty. What trip would you do in a heartbeat? Oh, Joe's going again. He's going pee again. What's wrong with you, Joe?
Very tiny bladder.
He's got a bladder infection.
Marty, what trip will you do?
Too much.
I will. Yeah, for me, it'll. There's. I think a little bit like Joe. There's something about the first, right? And my first wilderness backcountry canoe trip ever was on the Noir when I was 12, like on the Noir River. And I would go back in a heart. Like I went back last year, told the story about my dad introducing me to all this. I did it like 4 or 5 times already. I would do it any day again. The whitewater is fun. The beaches are beautiful.
Except for that one portage. There's a really nasty portage on that.
Yeah, well, most people don't start above that portage, right?
Okay.
Most people will start from like Le Rapide de l'Ours, like the Bear Rapid, and that's like kilometer 85. But if you do start like above the chute, mountain chute, it's called. Yeah, that one you have to rappel your canoe down. But I mean, like, if you're going on a canoe trip, it's kind of fun to grind like that a little bit. You know what I mean? It's interesting because for that portage, I think it's way scarier to paddle the C2 above the chute all the way, because you have to eddy out like 5 to 7 meters above the chute. So you paddle in a class 2 coming up to that fall. You can portage the whole way, but it's so bad of a portage. And then you eddy out right above the chute. That is far more stressful than having to rappel your canoe down that cliff. Far
That's
more.
always sketchy.
Yeah, I never thought that.
And, well, here's the thing. I had never done it myself. Like before last summer, I never started as high as because last summer I started at kilometer 175. So I went through the whole, I did a 150 kilometers of it. And I remember getting ready for that trip. I was watching these guys who would just GoPro'd it, right? The whole way through, no editing, no real storytelling, just kind of giving an idea of the rapids.
Yeah.
And the dude, it was a morning. The fog was up because you can camp right above that class, dude. The fog was up morning, the water was high, and they missed the eddy out, and they just went off the chute. They had to be rescued out from there. Wow. So that's and it's because they didn't see it. They shouldn't have paddled it. The visibility was low because of the fog. Nobody got hurt. Well, it still hurts to fall down a fall, but nobody died, but they had to be rescued out.
Yeah, that's bizarre. We actually in Algonquin, our last trip, we didn't rescue anybody, but we actually helped some people, and they didn't like the help. That was interesting. We were at camp, and this canoe comes over, guy and his kid, and can you help us? Went, yeah, I guess so. And what's the problem? We don't know where our group is. We've separated. Have you seen them? I went, nope. And then they're like, well, if you see them, can you tell them that we're in the far bay camping? I went, absolutely, no problem. So we're out fishing, Speedo Man and I, and it was really interesting. We see these guys coming out of the portage from the far end of the lake. They were completely lost, and we go over and I give them the whistle, and they're like, "What are you doing the whistle, man?" I was like, "Well, I just thought I'd tell you that your buddies are over there." They're like, "What's your problem?" I was like, well, I don't have a problem. I'm telling you that your buddies, they're looking for you. I think it's you. Yeah, we're looking for our friends. Well, they're over in the bay. Well, is there a reason why you're telling us this? I was like, and I went, you know what? And then actually, you don't know. Well, Joe knows Ashley. Ashley's like, he'll tell everybody what he thinks, right? He goes, well, I hope you go to hell.
With his British accent.
Yeah. So he gets in the canoe and he actually moonstone, and he goes,
I love him. I love Ashley. Tell him yes. That's awesome.
Oh my Lord. It's so funny. And then we see them the next day, we see them, they're all together. And we had caught 12 lake trout, and they were fishing. They came up to us and they're like, hey, any luck? And Ashley was like, any luck? Like, you weren't talking to us yesterday, and you probably saw us catching fish over in the bay, so now you're coming over to see what we're using for bait. Like, does it again.
Yeah, this is what we're using right here.
Oh my Lord. I can't use any of that video footage. It's terrible.
Oh man.
No, but that is awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah. Oh, you don't know what to say, you just moon them. Yeah.
Have you ever paddled the Noir or the Three Sisters, Kevin?
Oh yeah. Not for a while. I was working on a book on rivers of Ontario and Quebec. I did that, but also I guided on those ones. The Calange was a nicer one overall. The Noir was a really good bush trip. Oh, there you go. Oh my Lord. Oh, look at, I was a young kid then.
That's like the first print edition too.
Yeah, you know what? That T-shirt I'm wearing was my best trip shirt. It's on the back of it said, "I paddle, therefore I am." That's what it says on that back. I don't know where it is anymore, but anyway, yes, the Calange Noir and the Des Moines. Des Moines is an awesome trip, and lots of good whitewater. The Noir is more of a bush trip, especially if you start in the park, the Bec area, and then come down. But for a 3 day, the Calange is probably one of the best. So.
Yeah, that's what we're doing 2 weeks from now. I've never paddled it. I'm excited. See, we're spending 4 days.
Marty, you live in Quebec. What the hell's wrong with you?
I know. Well, you know what's wrong with me? I have a full-time job. That's my problem.
Doesn't that suck?
Touché.
Marty, I have a full-time job. My God.
That's your problem, Marty. That's your first mistake.
First mistake. Here's the thing. I had my kids, like I was, most of my life was not planned. And obviously both my kids weren't. I was 23 when I got Charlotte. And then 11 months later, I got Rosie when I was like just turning 24. So I spent the first 7 years of my life just, and we didn't have jobs. We didn't have anything then. I was living at my parents, so I had to figure it out.
Yeah, I've never ever knocked that at all. Even though my daughter steals my vodka and doesn't say that she did, it's the best thing that ever.
She might be
happened
watching,
in my
Kevin.
life.
You got to watch it.
Yeah, no,
I love it, but it's like there's a like 6 year period of my life where I didn't do any outdoors.
That's fine. That's fine.
I had to do other things, right? I had to find a job.
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what makes you a man.
Not making YouTube videos, is it? Eh?
No, making YouTube videos does not make you a man. Let me tell you that.
But no, I'm obsessed with the rivers now, because I did, like, when I came back to the game of like outdoor backcountry camping, I went into the lakes, classic Algonquin and all that. And then last year I rekindled my love with whitewater, because my story with whitewater is last time I did it before last year, I was 15 on the Ottawa River on the main channel going down in a kayak. And I got, like, that summer I swam every single rapids of the Ottawa River. And at the time I didn't even know how, like for people, like, people travel all around the world to do that run. Mm-hmm. This is the level of class of whitewater that we have here in the region. And I got so shit scared when I was 15, because I just got, dude, I swam the Coliseum. And for anybody that knows that rapid, I mean, like, that rapid will stick like an 18-foot raft with 20 people in it, and it'll just recycle it over and over. I got stuck in it in a small kayak. So after that last run, when I was 15, I was like, that's it, I'm out. And then I went back to the lakes. And then last year I'm like, it's like the white water is fun. I remembered having fun despite the fear. And then I went slowly, instead of starting in class 4 rapids, I went, 1, 2, 3. And now I'm obsessed with it. Like, I just found out about the Moise River, northern Quebec, that ends in the St. Lawrence. Like, I'm obsessed. Like, I want to do those. Like, this is where I'm going now. Like, I want to do all these rivers, especially in northern Quebec. There's so many beautiful ones. So this summer, it's a lot of what we do.
Yeah, I'll let you guys go. I know it's a busy night for you guys. I love your stuff, Tosh. I really do like your show. Well, when Joe shows up, maybe not. I don't know. Like, it really goes downhill after that.
That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard.
That really means a lot to me, Kevin. I've been a huge fan of yours for years. I've got like a stack of your books right now all over my table, planning trips, and
he just doesn't know any better.
Yeah, I remember meeting you when I was
on paper, Joe.
in my early
it's very kindling
show. So I've been a huge fan of yours for a very long time. So
I know it's great. It's fantastic. Thank you for much. And Joe, really, it's good talking to you again. We should trip again too. And I won't bring Speedo Man, and he won't be a bushcrafter in the tent with you.
Anytime, you know that. You
should bring a guy with canoe hound and underwear there, Kevin.
Yeah, that was just wrong. That was wrong. Marty, you don't want to know, but if you really want to see the true Speedo Man, I have my version of us winter camping, and then Joe has his, and I cut the bad part out. He did not cut it out. It was wrong. It was wrong.
How did that video not get straight?
You know what, right? We'll put an end to the show for tonight. Kevin, Marty, stick around for a few minutes in the green room, and we'll just close the show out, and then we'll take this party to the dark side. All right, we'll catch you guys in the green room.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, no! Come on, man. I've never been demonetized.
Print screen.
The blood moon.
Okay, boys, see you in the green room. All righty. Well, you know what, Tosh, thanks very much for joining tonight. Awesome, great getting to know you, and I know we're gonna get to meet one day soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel it will be this summer when I come up Petawawa way.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're up this way, don't hesitate to let me know. Drop by.
Yeah. There's like a whole collage of you people up there, between you and the Richards and Karina.
Up the road. Yeah.
Yeah.
So thanks so much for having me on, Dennis. This was a real pleasure.
Yeah, man. You know what? It won't be the last time, I'm quite sure. Joe, thanks for joining in too. Great to see you
Yeah,
again.
man.
You know, it's been over what, 2.5 years since you were on the show.
Yeah, we can do it again if you want.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we're long overdue, so we'll have to get
Okay.
caught up again. You're gonna
Yeah, I
stick
got
around
a
for a bit.
couple. What's that? Yeah, I got a couple good canoe trips coming up this year. Maybe we can touch base after that and talk about them and stuff.
Yeah, man. Well, we're near the end of this season. We were 2 more shows, and then
Okay.
I get the summer off, so I can go play myself, right?
Perfect. Yeah,
So yeah, man. But season 4, got to start working on a lineup for that. So yeah, we'll definitely.
Yeah, maybe we'll kick off season 4. I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, man, for sure. Okay, I'll catch both you guys in the basement. Oh, Tosh, somebody was asking where they could find some Tosh gear.
Right now, they can't.
They can't?
No, my cousin was she does a little home printing thing in her garage, and I'm not sure if she's up and running.
Right.
She was away. Her and her husband, my cousin they went out to the West Coast for the winter and lived in an RV. So they're back home now, but I'm not sure if she has everything set up yet. So, but if it comes available, it'll be on Instagram, and I'll probably promote it through YouTube as well. So
yeah,
follow me on
or a little Teespring type of account or something like that. Who's everybody using
Yeah.
these days for swag? Anybody know?
I think most people are using Teespring because it comes up on your video. So
yeah. There's another one now that I've looked at is Spreadshirt. Same kind of thing, like custom made to order.
Yeah.
But
I carry a few items on my own website, and it's a pain in the behind, and you make no money.
Yeah, if you have to ship it yourself, it sucks.
Yeah. So, okay, gentlemen, I'm going to drop you in the basement. I'll see you in about 2 minutes as I close out the show. And thanks very much again, Tosh. Great having you on.
All right. Thank you very much, Dennis.
Yep. Cheers, buddy. All right, everybody. So you know what? Great time. Tosh, keep an eye on his videos because he's doing some really cool things there. And you know what? He's got a lot of great adventures coming up, and I'm sure he's going to just keep on knocking these videos out of the park. If you want any information on how to get connected with Tosh, his link to Instagram and YouTube are in the description below. So by all means, get on there, check him out. And if you haven't already subscribed to his channel, please do hit that red button, turn it gray, and hit that bell notification for him. And then you can follow his adventures out there in the backcountry. Just wanted to remind you that next week we will be doing a show on, I believe, if things don't change, but we'll be doing a show on backcountry camping etiquette. We're going to be trying to talk about all the do's and don'ts in the backcountry. And if you know somebody that's new into camping, by all means, have them tune in because you know what? It'd be a great learning experience for them, and they could get to see the way things should more properly be done in the backcountry, so they're not leaving fires burning or leaving garbage or bottles in the thunder boxes or what have you. Okay, so by all means, have them check that out. Don't forget, you can follow us on Facebook at Canoe Hounds Outdoor Adventure Show, where you'll be up to date in the off season as to what's going to be happening next season. And like I said, 2 more episodes coming up, but you know what? There might be a couple of impromptu or surprise episodes happening through the summer. You know, if things happen, you know, you never know what could happen through the summer. So let's just keep an eye open for that as well. Don't forget tonight, if you have the correct answer to the question is not that the answer is not this, but where was the first trip that Tosh and Joe went together on a canoe trip? If you could drop me an answer at coasprize@gmail.com. You have until Saturday at 11 to do that. We'll be drawing 2 prizes. Anyways, I think that's about it for this week. Thanks very much for tuning in, everybody. If you haven't already done so, hit my subscribe button, hit that bell notification, and you know what? The thumbs up would be pretty cool. I like thumbs ups on these videos, so that's a good thing too. Have a great week, and remember, keep the adventures alive. Until next time.